Alrighty.
I
Can
think
I
Dumbledore
get...
has like a bathhouse.
Maybe.
No, we'll just wait till it rains.
Can I get a recap from each of you, please? Our friends, our good friends.
Let me get a quote. We had a bit of an oopsie, and then Nasha died.
That is correct. So we began by being in the middle of the combat with our with a couple of, I can't remember what the monsters were called.
Kikimoras?
The Kakamora.
So we then realized that there were a cave of kobolds around, and they were complete assholes, completely irredeemable.
They were.
During the combat, Nosh and I was downed once or twice, as he has done. And unfortunately, during the combat, Nosh and I was stabbed by a couple of kobolds while he was down. Completely dishonorable tactics. But that means that Nosh and I died. The combat was frozen, and Reinhold negotiated that we could get my body in exchange for my coin pouch being taken from me.
Reluctantly.
Question. What was the what was the thing that you asked about? Because I saw what the result of your roll was. I went back and I watched, but I couldn't see what you were asking about.
Who, me?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well, given the context, it doesn't really make a lot of sense now. But at the time, I thought it made more sense. But I was, like, if I had known Nosh and I was dead and not just unconscious, then I was seeing if Reinhold would snap.
Uh-huh.
And if he did snap, yeah, like a. That's why I said I was playing too much Darkest Dungeons, because in that game, if a certain amount of stress is given to a character, they will snap, and that can, in the game, it's either one way or the other, it's good or bad. But I was seeing if Reinhold would be able to maintain his composure to actually try and negotiate, or if he would just be like, nah, you killed my friend, we're gonna fight. But I didn't know that Nosh and I was actually dead, so I kind of ran with it anyway just to see what would happen. But
yeah,
in the end, it just didn't really make sense because I didn't know
the situation. But yeah, so after that negotiation happened, the party took the body of the Nosh and I and attempted to find someone who they think would be able to undead me effectively.
Undead you.
So we ended up going to what was the name of it? Like the Wildwood Barracks or something like that.
Correct.
Yep. Oh, cool. So we ended up going to the Wildwood Barracks and running into a familiar face as we met back up with Embra.
Hey.
Who entered the party to seeing me dead. So that was fun. We ended up, I believe, Vazur, you had provided the gemstone for the resurrection itself.
Yes, the ones I got from the Eyes of Yildus.
Yes.
Was that Scottish, mate?
It was an
accident. And then as we sort of went through the ritual and everyone kind of said their piece to try and bring me back, I was floating through the void at your local Wendy's. Just kind of thinking to myself whether or not I would be reborn in that same way, deciding to be at the cost of my persona as the Nosh and I. So I was reborn having reclaimed my former identity as Riven Caldros.
Are Shamol's temples Wendy's is?
Yes.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You also still have one half of my pair of platinum rings, which is
yes,
which you're going to be keeping from now on.
Y'all are married.
I knew that you cared, Reinhold. I just didn't know you cared this much.
We're not doing this again.
I'm gonna make that 2 platinum rings. Then I'm gonna, if you want, Reinhold, you can send one over to Riven. So I changed that to 2 on your sheet, so you should be able to send 1.
Doing it now.
we also all had a cigarette, or
Well,
at least tried.
I was gonna say Krane tried to eat it, so
He did. An attempt was made.
Crane's like, wow, this tastes like garbage.
I can't see Riven in my available players.
Damn,
I'm invisible.
that sucks.
Oh, that's because he's not logged in. That's fine. Just remember
okay.
for next time.
Yeah,
Roger
we're sharing the computer for now.
It's me.
But yeah, so, and then finally, once that emotional business was kind of wrapped up, and I finally showed my face to everybody, everyone immediately hoed on me for being ashy after having my skin covered for like, I don't know, like 3 years. So that's fine. Me
We also
not
gave
pointing
you
out
hugs. We hugged.
that's
Hugged
true.
it out.
Me not pointing out that every member of this party except for me is green. It's fine.
Green's
Is Embra
gray.
green? I thought
I
Embra
don't
was
think
like...
Ember is green.
I think
But
so.
it's in fact green.
I am slightly green.
Oh, okay, like a grayish green. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Okay, well, Scales isn't
So-
green.
I'm kind of like a rock, like molten lava.
So in fact, y'all
That
are
makes
green
sense.
with envy, so that's fine. So after that was all settled, we kind of made our way along, and we finished our travel to Dunmaldir, which we all had a fun slide down a vertical shaft with featherfall rings.
Blimey.
You forgot about Chompy, but that's okay.
Who's Chompy?
Oh, the squirrel that you and Embra met?
Yeah, our squirrel friend.
Yeah, the squirrely Krane got drunk.
What up, squirrel friend?
Our squirrel friend.
What
Also,
was,
Krane.
what was the accent that Chompy used?
It
He's
varied.
like a.
It did vary.
A little bit of Boston, a little bit of New York.
Boston Lager.
Yeah.
Chompy, say Aaron earned an iron urn.
Aaron
I tell
Aaron
you-
earned an iron urn.
Damn, we really sound like that?
Aaron!
Aaron earned an iron urn.
Krane also taught Riven how to use a bow.
Yeah.
Who's not a
Goddamn time.
And I think, well, Riven also should still have Crane's basilisk bow until further notice.
Hmm.
Is this false?
It's a nice bow.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'm gonna bash people with it.
But you also you whittled a walking stick.
Who ended up... Well, it was Vazur and Embra that did that?
I think
Yeah.
that's
With the walking stick for me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I currently
Because you're weak.
have a... Yes.
Damn.
And until I get to a tailor, I'd actually ask, Reinhold, could I borrow an extra shirt?
You can borrow whatever you need.
Y'all are married. You borrow each other's clothes.
It's gonna be a little big on me, but
He's gonna look like a little kid wearing like his dad's shirt.
You're wearing a dress.
My shirts actually come like skin tight, and I've worn them so much now that you can actually see the muscle outlines in the shirt.
Hmm.
now I have
Okay.
anchor arms and ladies love me.
Oh no.
Beautiful. Okay.
Did we do good, boss?
Anything else you guys want to add?
Did we do good, boss?
Maybe.
Did we get an A on D&D?
So far, it's going okay.
Okay.
Do we win Dungeons and Dragons?
Not that it's of major import now, but Phoenix did tell us that our like little writ that he had given us has a time limit on it. So
He did.
we
That's
we
why
kind
we
of
went straight there like good boys and girls.
Well, you
And
did
construct.
go straight here, but then
After
Nash and I
Wildwood.
died, and then you had to go away, and then you came back. So
thanks, Nosh and I.
that's okay.
Thanks
Unfortunately,
Glad that guy's gone.
Nosh and I.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have to deal with that silly Nashina guy anymore.
crazy.
Yeah, hated that
Oh,
guy.
Thank God he
One
noshed
thing-
and died.
oh wow. So, one thing I would probably tell everyone before we got into too deep into Dunmaldir. First, as much as it's going to pain me, I will probably be giving up the sending stone.
To
Give
Krane.
it to me. Give it to me.
Crane.
I'm giving it to neither of you.
You're giving
No,
it to
don't give it to Vazur.
He's
Don't
giving
give
it
it
to
to
Scales.
I'm probably gonna give it to Embra.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
okay. All right, no, that's fine. I'm
Embra
okay with
already
Embra.
has one. She already has one.
That's
It's
a
not
phoenix.
fair. She's gonna get them mixed up. It's not fair.
She messages Valros like, "Hey there, brother man."
What up, bro? How's that family we're supposed to murder?
Varos is like, what?
That was just the guy with the wife.
It's always my guy.
That was just the guy with the wife and kid.
Yeah, Valros is our house attendant.
Yeah, just message him, sending dirty things for him and his wife, but actually send it to Phoenix. He's just like, oh, what the fuck?
Date
Brooke,
idea.
can I hold the stone, please? Not formerly known as Nosh Knight. Can I hold the stone, please?
Define like in totality.
Oh, you got a word bubble.
I mean, yeah, I want to hold the whole thing. Don't smash it and just give me half of it.
Well, I don't know. You guys generally were very mean about Nosh and I holding the stone.
Can I hold a stone?
Who was mean about this stone?
This is scary. Why is it moving?
Is it?
I was doing it.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
I'm just like, this computer doesn't have speakers built into it, does it, Drew?
No.
That'd be
It's,
a
you
crazy update.
you hover over a token and it's B for Bachat bubble.
Batok.
Chat.
I thought it was
As in
Batok. Was it not Batok?
Yeah, Batok.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you just hit B to get rid of it again.
But anyway, the reason that I'm giving up the stone either way is that, for obvious reasons, all of our companions I'm going to refer to my own self as if I am not, nor have ever been, the Nashanai. Before you say, well, Valros will probably recognize me, I understand for Valros, but if we meet any other people that we've known along the way, it's still a secret that I do have to keep.
Wait, what's the secret?
There is no secret, Krane. Don't worry about it.
But he just said there was a secret.
Don't worry about it, Reinhold, then Krane will just assume and accidentally call me Nashanai.
But you're not
the-
Nashanai.
Exactly. The point being...
You're not Shanai.
Stop.
Oh shit. Well, Krane already has a point of inspiration, otherwise I'd...
Wait, I'm racking them up because you gave me one last week too.
They don't stack.
They do too stack.
No,
New rule, they stack. Maybe one didn't carry over from last week. Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to see Abigail walk into a Wizards of the Coast meeting. New rules, asshole. Inspiration stacks.
We can't argue with her. She said it's the rule now.
God, she commands a room.
That attitude.
The dude.
She's got it.
She's all that.
And a bag of chips.
So eventually the Dwergar will step out of that sort of ghostly red light and step forward. And at the end of last session, he sort of welcomed you to Dumbledore, said there would be a bit of a kind of decontamination process, it seemed. And he, once you guys sort of stop down to the water and sort of into this small pit, sort of get cleansed by some of the vapors in the air, and you see around you sort of the dust sort of flakes off your equipment and whatnot, and it seems that all the sort of impurities wash away. It's almost like a primitive clean room. This Dwergar will hold his hand out to take the rings from you all, the feather falling rings.
Krane will shake his hand.
Krane, I think he wants the rings.
I require the rings.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Thank you. Does anyone relent?
I offer. No, I offer the ring.
I will as well.
Me as well.
Once you are ready to enter, go ahead and just pull that switch. and I can get the door unlocked for you.
We're going that way.
I'll get the switch.
All right. So you engage it, and you hear a couple clicks as the sort of iron portcullis gets undone and starts to lift, and it will open to allow passage through. And when you enter Vazur, I think you first would hear faintly sort of this ghostly, like, clicky sound coming from this platform that you're kind of familiar with as a teleportation sort of device from a while ago when you guys first were tracking Gorlim, and you had found a couple of these. So it seems that these are common in Dwarven culture, it seems. Or they're just efficient and they've unlocked some capabilities. But this gentleman here, who stands around 4 foot, maybe 4'2", somewhere around there, he will sort of approach slowly and kind of just look you all over and say, very well, am I taking you to a certain place, a certain office, or are you just here, well, I guess in a holding pattern, for lack of a better word? Do you have any documentation regarding stays?
I'll pull out the writ and read it again.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mention anything about what we might be, what our cover might be, so to speak?
It doesn't say anything specific about details regarding your stay here.
Okay.
However, it's like a blanket permissive thing for a week, which is probably down to, I'd say, about 4 days now.
And it's from, I'm so sorry, what was the family name for Embra and Phoenix?
Starts with a V. It's like Vessel.
Dude,
Belrose.
you're killing me. Nope.
Vesalius.
Vagina.
Okay, Krane.
Could it just kind of humor me here for a second? Could it be reasonably assumed that we're waiting for someone from the Vesalius family to do some negotiating?
Somebody more than Embra?
More than Embra, yeah.
Maybe.
Like a head of a family.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now he's just asking for. He's not asking for like the story. He's just curious if he's got to take you somewhere like specific.
All right, I will step up to him, hand him the writ. Well, I won't hand him the writ. I'll just say, we're waiting on an envoy from the Vesalius family. We weren't given any specific place to meet, so just waiting on the envoy here. Is there space available for us to stay?
We've got some bunks available. Unfortunately, no suites at this time. We are still in the midst of some renovations. I can work something out. He will step up to the northern door here, and he will do sort of two large knocks, and then you'll hear a click as the door is unlocked, and he will open it. Further into the room, you see a large sort of, how to describe this? Almost like a stone grate, or not stone grate, but like a metal iron lined grate that has a bunch of holes, and it looks like it is retractable, and it's just a very dark pit that awaits. But he'll step through and wave you all forward as well. And obviously, Abigail, if you need me to move Krane, just let me know.
Krane is not moving very well.
Okay.
We kind of had to use the ruler to get him to go.
I feel that. I can also attach you to somebody.
That might be nice.
Ooh, you can attach scales to Krane if you'd like.
Oh, but I can't move.
Well, how about
scales.
this? I'm going to get rid of scales just for now, Vazur.
Oh,
But
okay.
we know he's there, and then I will attach Krane to you.
Fair enough. I was gonna say because you usually move scales when I'm not.
Yeah.
But this works.
So now, if Vazur moves, yep, Crane's moving.
Oh, we're gonna go on so many adventures, Krane.
So excited.
This gentleman will lead you past two of his compatriots, and he will lead you into this large sort of banquet room, maybe. It almost looks just like a chow hall, and he will just kind of let you be in here, and he'll say, you may wait in here while I process this request. Just have to go over some things, and I'll be back to get you shortly. If you have any questions, just let the gentleman outside the door know, and they should handle anything you require.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And this gentleman will, he'll actually probably close the door behind you. It's not locked, but he's just kind of giving you privacy and allowing you to chat.
Okay, so in a whisper, so that these two. Well, nah, we'll skip that part. We'll skip that part for now.
Okay.
That was Darren talking, not Reinhold. What time of day is it? I don't even know what time it is.
Down here, it's always nighttime.
What time did we come down at?
You guys, I think, arrived late afternoon, I want to say. Actually, I think it was getting close to evening. I have it pegged at like 8 p.m. or so.
Oh,
okay. It's roughly rock o'clock.
Okay.
Rock and stew.
Please enjoy any of the samplings of these carefully plated foods that I have made you all. Well, not made you all, but you know, I've done the courtesy of making this map myself, so enjoy.
Muffins? Are there more muffins?
There's pastries for sure. The only other people in here with you guys is the sort of older silvery gentleman. Seems to be a dwarf. Probably you could clock him as a mountain dwarf, I'd say. And he's got on some chainmail. He's got a shield sort of at his side, just kind of leaning on this stone bench. You see he's got the hammer head down of a warhammer just kind of sitting on the floor behind him. And I'd say there's a bit of symbology that you can notice. I think prime of that being he's got like a holy symbol sort of peeking out of his collar. But beyond that, he's pretty unremarkable. Seems to be probably in his, I'd say, mid-50s, early 50s or so. And it's just this sort of mop of white hair that flows down kind of to his shoulders almost, maybe a little bit higher than that. And he's just got a full beard and mustache to match. He's currently snacking on some food with a companion here. This is a female gnome. Looks very young, but on a closer inspection, probably closer to like early 30s, maybe mid-30s. But has a very youthful face, like baby face. Only about 3.5 foot tall, maybe a little bit shorter, and probably doesn't weigh more than, I don't know, 70, 80 pounds. Very, very thin and petite. And you notice that the one side of her head is sort of beaten up pretty badly and scarred from some old, like, a war equivalent wounds. And part of her, like, left side ear, or her left ear rather, is missing. She's got one blind eye, it seems, and the braids in her hair are actually affixed with like bolts that are sort of tightened on. And she's got these big, like, industrial hoop earrings, probably made out of some kind of galvanized copper or something. But she's also enjoying a meal with the gentleman.
It's not one of those times when we're supposed to, like, socialize and make friends, or are we supposed to like avoid eye contact and keep to ourselves?
Reinhold's gonna find out for you. Good evening. Would it be alright if I sat with you? Either of you? Doesn't matter which.
We're all friends here. Have a seat, if you must.
I must. So, what brings you two to Dunmuldir?
I'm currently serving a bit of a sentence here, if you will. Not as ominous as it sounds. I lent my services to this place. I'm the local doctor of sorts. My friend Waywocket here. Poor lass, well, she's along for the ride for now. She's under my care. Prisoner of some renown, but I wouldn't want to regale you with the details. I'd say a bit more, but I don't honestly know when she's listening or not, so I think I'll play it close to the chest for now.
Fair enough. Man, this place is big. That's all I can think to say right now.
As a fun little tidbit here, Embra would notice that Riven is just opening his mouth as like wide as physically possible to take most food.
It's like
Yeah.
you've never
I guess-
eaten before.
I guess you'll earn a look at that. Just are you okay?
I'll look over. What's wrong?
I just kind of just mimic what you did and just open my jaw as wide as possible and
Like
take
a
a
snake.
bite. Just unhinging my jaw. Just why did you bite like that?
Oh, I didn't know that I ate weirdly.
You don't have to open your mouth that wide.
I just, I kind of always eaten like that.
Don't do that. Just open your mouth like half the size that you normally do.
I'll, like, take a bite of that, what I'm assuming is, like, sliced fish,
Mm,
and just kind of, like,
Sashimi.
yeah.
I'm just gonna, like, put it carefully in, like, my half-opened mouth.
Like a
This
morsel.
doesn't feel comfortable.
I mean, do what feels comfortable, but I'm just, we're out in public, you can't eat like that. They're gonna think you're like snake people.
Okay.
What holy symbol is he carrying, Drew? This Werbin.
Yeah, give me a religion check, please.
For show. Religion. 24.
Ridiculed. 24, okay.
Chronicles of Religion.
Give me a moment here.
Sure.
He is carrying a symbol of Urush, Urush, the god of war.
Oh, interesting.
Reinhold's like, war, you say?
War, you say?
So, you're a man of faith?
When it's convenient, I suppose.
Is it regularly inconvenient?
Well, I can't think of another reason they call it practicing faith.
Fair enough. You mentioned that this woman here was your prisoner? Or did I mishear that?
Can't take all the credit, but she is under my protection for crimes that she is allegedly committed for now.
Must have been some pretty serious crimes to bring her to Dunmuldir.
Calling it a crime's a bit of a fucking lie. You hear her mutter under her breath, kind of close to you. This guy smirks at it, Werbin. The dwarf sort of smirks at it like he's like, yeah, I know that feeling.
shoot, sorry. What has she had a trial or anything yet, or is this more of a drop off?
She's going to be staying here for a few moments while we have the executor of these sort of documents that are keeping her here arriving at Dunwaldir. Have to have a bit of questioning, I believe. Fortunately, I'm not too bound within the glossary of terms here. But that being said, I still find it quite interesting, as otherwise I wouldn't be here. But she's of no danger to any of us. In fact, he smirks again. He's like, I quite like her. Quite funny. Be good to have some personality around this place for once. Can be a bit dull sometimes. We're not the only ones here, though. There's at least another family that I saw earlier. There's gods, I want to say you got half a dozen other visitors here at the moment.
Am I free to speak to your prisoner, or is that off limits?
Feel free. I don't mind. Reinhold, give me... Actually, Riven. I'd say you're more apt to this, because Reinhold, you're kind of in conversation. Give me a perception check, Riven, please.
Okay. 15.
Okay. You deduce that there's some markings on sort of Waywalkett's forearms that indicate that she's been bound with shackles or something at some point recently. However, it seems that she is out of them, and there's nothing kind of impeding her at the moment. That being said, she's got like empty sheaths where there are no weapons and anything like that. But there's sort of a trick in Knight's Reach specifically that you're quite familiar with that involves keeping random pieces of sort of metal on your person, and in case you ever get abducted, that you can either use as a shiv or like a bobby pin for a lockpick or something. And you notice that one of the earrings behind her good ear that looks like a gear that's sort of fashioned on there as like a accoutrement actually seems to have a like an inlet, or like a, I don't know what the term would be, like a cutout, it seems, where there's a piece of metal in there that might be used as like, I don't know, the equivalent of like a dart or something.
I see. As I'm kind of like looking around, I guess, just kind of taking an unnecessarily large bite of an apple. Also, I probably chew with my mouth open.
You're the worst.
Animal.
You're the worst.
God.
Are you also one of those people who like eats the whole apple, seeds and all?
Dude, I hate those.
Actually,
No, I hate those people. All they leave is like the stem, and I'm just like, why?
you eat all of the food.
Oh my gosh.
The
Oh my gosh.
I hate it.
As you, I was
Are
like,
you,
no one.
are you an apple orchard? I don't think so. Don't eat those seeds.
But as I'm sort of, I guess, just kind of idly looking around, the markings of these shackles, do they seem to be almost like chafed, or like she's been wearing them for a while?
I wouldn't say chafed. I'd say whatever they were probably a bit uncomfortable because they didn't have it in her size. So they put them further up the forearms to where they got to like wrist size, which were probably somewhere around her elbows.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, because they're smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems more like just an indent of having like something pressed against there for a minute.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, you think prisoner, you're like, oh, usually they're like tied up or shackled or something, but you're also in like a secure place, and there's, it's literally a hole in the ground. But you're just sort of keeping an eye out just because, you hear prisoner, that sort of tick in your mind that goes, oh, dangerous. And then you just sort of gave her a once over and kind of, after a double take, the earring looks like it could be possibility of a concealed, like, weapon, but also it could be like a bobby pin type trick, right? So it's hard to deduce.
Nice. Yeah, okay. I guess ultimately I'm just trying to gauge whether or not they seem like it would those markings like hurt.
Give me an insight.
It's like, when you fall asleep on your pillow in a weird way and you have like, pillow markings on your face when you wake up. That's all it is,
I
right?
hate that.
12.
12? Okay. Does not seem to be a danger at this moment. Seems a bit frustrated and maybe a little anxious, but doesn't seem to be willing to fly off the handle from what you can judge by.
Okay. I guess with that then I will just I guess I'll probably just go back and get a slice of pie.
Sure.
There's one for me.
Yeah.
What kind of pie is there?
Like I was turned around, so I turned back around.
What kind of pie? Let's see.
Where's Vazur?
Yeah,
Well, one looks like an apple.
But we have a pie. Where's Vazur?
Oh, yeah, Vazur has to come over and have some of the pie.
Hey, Vazur, can we go get some pie?
Absolutely, Krane.
Thank you.
He's already fucking.
Easy peasy.
Over.
So, Miss Wocket.
Are these like seats or actual tables?
Way Wocket,
Oh.
sorry.
Their seats, they look like.
Yes,
What,
large man.
What crime did you commit exactly, according to whoever is binding you here?
I would call it generosity. They would call it extortion.
I'm afraid there's a large dissonance between generosity and extortion.
Depends on who you're extorting.
And who were you extorting?
Newcomer to come here and ask that makes me get the old noodle thinking, assuming that you might be with that person, trying to narrow down who I am in case you want to lay your own form of justice. Not quite at the liberty to say at the moment.
Jesus, what is going on? Why is it? There we go. Okay. Well, I have no plans to lay any claim of justice of my own. Just curious as to what made you come about this situation.
Yeah. The way I figured some people have too much, and I was just reintegrating the form of donation into certain communities that I think are worth the trouble. Reinhold, give me an investigation.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you have a bit of a deduction-y boy tale to tell here. I want to see what you see.
23.
23. Okay. This gnome, although it is not reflected necessarily in the token art, has a pretty mean tan. Especially for this time of the year where it's getting into winter and there's only a select few places on the continent that gets enough sun this time of year to sort of have that sort of appearance. And you notice that there's still like the edges of a sunburn that haven't sort of melded into a tan yet. So you're assuming it's either somebody north of like the northeast part of the Valorlands where there's a bit of a vast desert, although there isn't a bunch of settlements up there. Maybe somebody from like the Ashfall area. Although you're kind of thinking, and you're like, that doesn't really get that good of weather this time of year. The most common place you could think of is recently they were in the Shattered Lands, which is west of Knight's Reach, sort of south of the Stormshield Mountains. So perhaps was in a deserty vibe quite recently before coming here.
Which
I make
of...
it.
Oh, go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh,
No, you go.
Okay.
Which of those has a higher gnome population?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I
Can I
would
whip
say
out my census?
yeah, I would say by default you would think that the Shattered Lands, for sure, just because it actually has like a major trade city and like a couple villages to boot, or maybe one village to boot. I actually don't recall.
It's him gerrymandering.
Who did you vote for? Jerry Mander.
Well, Waywalkit, you seem to be far from home.
I would consider most holes in the ground far from home, if your home is not in the ground yourself. Werpen will get up to pour himself another drink.
You said she's currently unshackled, right?
Correct, yeah.
I didn't catch Werben's name, did I?
No, but he would have given it at this point. I'd say Werben
Oh, okay.
Silveraxe is his name.
Yeah.
Classic dwarf McWeapon or rock name.
Dwarf McWeapon.
Yeah.
Werben puts a lot of trust in you for not keeping you shackled even down here. Must not think you're that dangerous.
I think he just has the same set of eyes as I do, and he's doing his job, and I did my leisurely activity, and now I'm in his care. I think he's probably lived the life that I have at some point, if I would put it to a guess.
What the life of a... But I'll put actual air quotes for Reinhold. A criminal?
One who navigates the ink strokes of the law with precision. You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Did I get you going?
How long you been waiting to use that one?
You know what? I'm proud to say that was improvised. I'm gonna give
Ah.
I'm gonna give Waywalkit a point of inspiration, although
No.
I can't.
No.
All right, I'll give it to myself.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if I
DM
like
gets
that
a
either.
inspiration.
I don't like that
actually,
either.
You know what? No, because it stacks now, so I'll just give I'll hoard 10, right? And then I can either keep them or give them out.
Yeah.
Wait, so how many do we get to hoard?
Oh, yeah, 1 at this time.
Anyone?
No.
Where's that picture of Obama giving himself a medal?
That's right.
That definitely applies here. Can we get that in the chat, please?
I'd like to
Jamie,
give myself a medal.
My fellow Americans.
Don't get it
Fellow
twisted.
Moldarians, I have a medal.
And I'm gonna give it to myself.
I have just done.
What was that?
Obama did that. He would like
The vocal,
stutter.
crackle.
Yeah.
He didn't do the ow, 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 ow. That was not a thing he did.
Owa.
He did not do ow, ow, ow.
Thank you.
My fellow Americans, Awuga.
My fellow Americans, I am in goblin mode.
What does that mean? Your
he's-
brother said he's going in goblin mode.
Yeah, he says before he launches his 4th drone strike before breakfast.
That's right. Oh my god.
You know, magic missile is just the first drone strike known to man, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Because
cool.
that is definitely in real life.
That's right.
So Werben, overheard I didn't overhear, I guess, but the guard mentioned they were doing some renovations. What exactly are they renovating? Can't imagine there's much to do down here. It's stone.
Yes, they're, from what I understand, repurposing an old talking chamber, if I may.
Chambers
believe-
talk.
Well, good men, I think we would refer to it as a interrogation chamber.
How about conference room?
I don't think there is a lot of negotiating in that room. I think it's a pretty one-sided conversation.
So I'm gonna call it a conference room.
Vazur just going, oh, okay.
Was there a gator rolling a pie?
Gator rolling a pie.
Perhaps.
What's the Urban Dictionary on gator rolling?
I don't want to know.
Yep.
I don't want to.
same
I
me.
take it back. I don't want to know.
Jarvis, pull up Urban Dictionary.
No.
Take it back.
Jarvis, create a 4chan account. No!
So why are they renovating one of these talking rooms? I mean, as I said, it's stone. There can't really be much to renovate.
Well, perhaps they're hedging their bets, expecting more business. But when you have the coin of, when you're allowed to spend the coin of a public program, sometimes you have to use it to get more, I assume.
Spend money to make money.
It would appear that way.
How does that make sense?
I feel like if I tried to describe it to you, it would be akin to a scam almost. Not sure I have the best technical knowledge.
Crane, do you remember when you asked our neighbors to invest in the manor and the bed and
Oh yeah.
breakfast?
Well, I mean, we didn't ask them officially. We were just like, "Do you appreciate a good business venture?" And they were like, "Hmm." And then we didn't actually. Yeah.
Kind of like that. You spend money investing in something you have to make you more money in the future.
Ah. So you give away your money in the hopes that it comes back and it brings its friends.
Correct.
Okay.
So who or what are you waiting for, Werbin?
Well, I think we'll be here for a while. The next transportation from the, I guess that would be the departing point? Embarking point? He struggles for the word. He says, wherever they're embarking on their journey. I bet it will take a while from what I've been told, so I don't know exactly who. I'm still waiting on correspondence that is yet to get here, but I do know that I'm to keep her here under my watch and protection. Which, he waits until a moment where she's, like, doing other stuff and not really, like, listening, and he says, I thought it was a pretty cut and dry case that somebody would have her head within moments of finding her, but it seems that is not the case at the moment.
Drew, just a quick aside here. I just need you to tell me if I'm wrong or not, essentially.
Okay.
Did Thibodeau mention that they had... I remember that he had said they had found the black sphere, the onyx sphere, sorry, underneath Dunmuldir, right?
Yeah, everything about that is correct, except it's Thibodeau. Mr.
Thibodeau.
Mr. Tibbs.
I said Thibodeau,
Yeah,
didn't I?
You said
You
Thigh.
did.
Sorry.
That's alright.
It's because... Long story. Anyway, Thibodeau had said that. And he had mentioned the commander's name was, I think it was Sabin?
Yep.
Sabin. That's it, just Sabin.
Yep, Sabin, no surname given,
Okay.
which is his surname.
But it was underneath Dunmuldir, right?
Correct, yeah. It seems that Thibodeau had been pretty confident on the idea that Sabin had found a way into the into an archive below Dunmaldir. That maybe Sabin didn't even know what he uncovered. And actually traveling with or reconvening with Embra recently, she would have hinted at like understanding the archives and kind of the idea of them, and almost like it's more than urban legend. And she's like, no, they're fucking around here somewhere. Just people just don't know enough. But it seems that maybe she's had a better chance to learn than most.
The archives, or sorry, not the archives, the interrogation room that they're renovating, quote unquote. Did we see any signs of like construction or anything like that? Any like materials, tools laying around?
Yeah, so you hear from a room that is somewhere beyond this wall in the back here. You hear like gears going and cranking and like creaking of stuff somewhere beyond a stone wall that is moving, and it seems very industrial somewhere in here. Not in a manufacturing sense, but in like a labor sense. And, yeah, you can feel like vibrations around every so often. As like there must be some sort of dwarven construction within the inside of the walls that are like moving stuff out of sight. It seems.
One more question.
Sure.
This will be my last one on this topic. Does the amount of material, labor, tools, whatever, seem to fit the job at hand? Like,
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, it's more than just like a prisoner hold. Like, this could be the place for like diplomatic talks. Like, this could be the site of like a Geneva convention, right? Like,
Gotcha.
It has to be sort of spazzy for when the when the non-prisoners come, like the dignitaries and stuff like that. Foreign ministers, whatever.
Are we free to leave this room?
Yeah, you might not have access to like stuff further inside. But the room that you were in and pretty much every door that's unlockable and open is... I mean, you guys can feel free to run like wild horses, but there will be certain spaces that you won't have access to.
Excuse me for just a moment. Or maybe more than one moment.
Sure. It's a good-looking pie over there. He nods to Vazur, Embra, Riven, Krane.
Can I investigation check this pie?
You might.
It's a little late for that, Krane.
Yeah, I mean, if
Is
you
there
would
not
really
more than
like...
one?
I mean, there's like other pastries, but there's not a whole bunch of pies.
I don't know if I did it or not. It's so slow.
I
hear the dice.
Yeah, it rolled.
I got 10.
Yes, you did.
Please don't tell me it's poison now.
I mostly want to know if it's like homemade or if it's from a bakery, and maybe if it's from the same bakery that the cherry pie pies are from.
It's definitely homemade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's bad?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But it doesn't have that good and processed goodness of travel.
Mm. Guys, they make theirs in house. Unlike that place that we went.
Oh, the cherry pie. So after sitting, I would probably just kind of look over to what's her name? Waywocket, and I would just kind of say, do those hurt the shackle marks?
They don't hurt. I would call it an irritation.
Okay. Do you guys know whether or not there is like a bathhouse equivalent here?
There is, unfortunately, the only one that I know of is further past the inspection area.
Oh,
Basically
bad.
where they process you.
Oh, sorry.
Neat.
So effectively, I would need the authorization first to head further in.
I don't think that would be what they would do, although they can fetch a chamber pots and lead you somewhere to a secluded area, perhaps.
It's more of just well, wait, this is an awkward subject to get into. Never mind.
Oh, Nashna, we should get you a bath.
That is true. I'm just kind of there in an oversized T-shirt. I go, oh, there's chicken.
There's
You,
chicken.
you probably
Jeez.
don't smell half bad after the cleansing sort of bath of whatever they put you in before they let you inside.
Yeah, but if nothing else, I definitely need to like
Yeah.
scrub and like
Yeah,
you know
a nostalgia scrub.
just to try and sort of cleanse all the skin and whatnot.
Nostalgia and I.
I don't think it works in modern tissue for that.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
So I'll say, Reinhold, what are you looking for? But for the rest of you, what are you doing to sort of pass the time while you wait to go further? Also, feel free if you want to talk to either of the people sitting at the table. But let's kind of just regulate what you're doing, Reinhold. See where that takes us.
I wanted to talk to one of these gentlemen here. These fine Dwergar gentlemen.
Sure. Yeah, they're both kind of just taking it easy. One of them's kind of just lit up a pipe recently. What? Did you just take a fat vape?
Yeah, dude.
Riven, dude, vape nation.
Reinhold's got his pipe out.
No, but they're just hanging out. I mean, kind of being the grunts, guarding the doors.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry, I have allergies.
Are you allergic to stone?
No.
Stone dust.
Pollen.
Yeah, there you go.
No pollen down here, fam.
I'm sorry, let me reset my brain here because I just lost my entire train of thought.
My bad.
Which way is it to the any of the conference rooms? I'm trying to make sure the preparations are in order for my liege lord ahead of time.
Oh, we can definitely let you in. We just have to wait for the boss to come back and allow you to go through, assuming everything's okay. But yeah, we're fine to lead you. Once that's all straight.
Just have to wait for the boss to come back then?
Sorry.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. Usually only takes maybe half hour at the most.
All right, thank you very much. So walk it in my pocket.
Wait, walk it in my pocket.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to close the door.
Can,
Use my telekinesis.
Yeah.
So I totally remember why we're here. But can somebody remind Vazur?
Like out loud right now, Krane?
Here, I can make it easier. She'll
Sure.
be here, and then Riven can block any hearing. There you go.
Activate my sound blocking device.
All right. Vazur, since you weren't listening last time, I'm going to tell it to you again. Quietly.
I'm sorry. What were you saying? Oh, pie's pretty good.
It's really good. It's homemade. Did you notice?
I could taste it. It tasted not like the other place's pies.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Yep.
You can totally tell.
Okay, so we're here for two reasons.
Huh?
Okay, first one is
Yeah.
we're finding an onyx sphere for Thibodeau.
Can it be any
No,
Onyx sphere?
it's a specific one.
Oh,
But
that makes it harder.
But if anyone asks us why we're here on behalf of. Does my Baron have a name, Drew?
Oh, fuck. How dare you?
I never
probably-
thought about that.
I would assume he has a name.
Yes, he has a name.
Okay. We're here on behalf of blank, Baron blank.
Baron von Blankenstein.
I think it was pronounced Blanc.
Yes,
Um,
my bad.
No,
Baron von Blanc.
I had Hastings.
Hastings,
Yeah.
like the city.
Like Hastings, Michigan, yeah.
I was thinking of
Baron
the one in
von
the UK.
Hastings.
Oh,
But anyway, yeah. We're here on behalf of. If anyone asks us, we're here on behalf of Baron Hastings and Vesalius.
Vesalius, I think.
Vesalius.
starring Jennifer Gardner, the hit TV series from 2006. I don't know.
Am I
Sorry.
saying the last name right?
Salius.
Vesalius.
Yeah,
and
like
the-
A.
like the
and
sailboats.
And the Vesalius family to negotiate something. I haven't figured that one out yet, but that's what we're
Okay.
telling people if we're asked. But we're actually here for the Onyx Sphere. It's a secret mission, Krane.
That's why I didn't know. Got it. I
Yes.
mean, Vazur. That's why Vazur didn't know. Got
Yes. Yep. I knew what you meant, Krane. You're good. I'm not planning a secret mission.
That's exactly what you would say if you're planning a secret mission.
Nope.
All right.
it. Vazur. Vazur, remember to breathe.
Oh.
Take your
Oh,
face out of the pipeline, Vazur.
It's
Vazur.
just so good.
Sugar coma.
Vazur. Do you see any black spheres yet?
He probably sees stars.
I'll be back in 1
Vazur.
second.
Oh, he's
I
said
gotta go
he'd be
bathroom,
back.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
The pie shoots
Okay.
right through.
I'm gonna
Pie
take that
shoots.
pie plate from
Yeah.
you, and you're gonna sit down and have a glass of water, okay? Okay.
Would anyone like a drink while I'm up?
Well,
No,
Vazur's having water.
I'll take one. I'll take 3.
Well, let's start with 1.
Okay.
Drew, are the archives currently part of the part of Dunmoldir, or are they like a
No,
hidden
it's
section?
almost like it seems to be like an Atlantis sort of situation. Almost.
I see.
Like
Okay.
lost to time, right?
We're
in-
underwater.
In fact, Embra, give me a history check with advantage, just because
He's the rich.
you've
What's the,
studied.
what's the advantage button again?
Alt.
So
what,
sorry
A-
about that, Krane.
A for alt, A for advantage.
It's okay, Vazur. We know how you get around sugar.
I'm getting ready to
And I'll go straight through me.
Nice. 26. So, Embra, as far as the archives go, from what you understand, there is a hidden archives under Dunmoldir. And it is sort of one of those sort of places of legend. And it's kind of like holds a bunch of old knowledge, and there is these weird like anomalies down there that happen in regards to certain types of life, and like sound modulation in your head, and all these sorts of kind of rumors. And it is a very ornate section of an old city called Leao, Leao.
Yeah.
And it's the archives of Leao that is the sort of legend. And within those archives seem to lay a handful of...
Seem to now. So
Okay. I can take inspiration away as well.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
It's the rules.
It's
new
the rules.
And there seems to be perhaps one of the black spheres that Thibodeau was talking about that was relayed to you. But there are these places that are among these anomalies that can be found to creatures that are not found on this plane of existence and almost serve like a gateway. And they're often described as dark, sort of oily black spheres. They're almost like smog, like a layer of smog between different areas and places that can be sort of accessed. You're not sure exactly what value that would kind of give to Thibodeau, so you're not sure his play there, but I mean, who knows? But there's also rumored to be like a keeper of the archives known as the Archivist, and the Archivist would be somebody like almost like an artificial intelligence level like knowledge that sort of serves as just a keeper to the institution, it would seem.
Okay.
And you can relay that freely, and then if you have any other questions with that high of a roll, I can expound on things or give you a bit more.
Have we fully destroyed the snack table yet?
Just be louder. Get the phones away from you.
You're pretty close to destroying it.
So do you think they do refills?
Put yourself.
I don't know. We should ask. It's a good question.
I mean, people have been pouring themselves refills, so you don't think it's against the rules.
But on the pie.
Oh, well,
and
there's
the
only...
snacks.
I mean, Krane, there's only so much pie and only so much snacks.
Who said that? Who would dare say that there's only so much pie and snack?
The Archivist.
It was I.
Was
Embra,
I?
why you gotta, you know?
Why you gotta pie block him?
Yeah. Why you
You can only
gotta
have so much pie.
harsh my pie dreams?
Well, maybe you should open a bakery.
Ooh. You know what?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Can there be cannolis there?
No, only pie. Go away.
Excuse me?
Not the Great Cannoli War.
This is good. So we can convert one of the guest houses on our estate into a bakery. I like
Yeah,
this
but then
idea.
we're bakers.
We'll hire a baker. I'll become a baker.
Okay.
I can bake. I did it at least once.
In exchange for you baking
Way
pies.
This young gnome will pipe up and say, well, I guess alchemy isn't too different from baking then, is it?
I don't know. I've never alchemied.
I don't think things that you alchemy taste good.
And I've never baked.
They don't have a flaky crust on them.
Don't
I see
lie to
where
me.
she's coming from. You get the combination of different ingredients in some tinctures and whatnot is like making food.
Just stare at Vazur. You're a genius.
No, not a genius, just an above average lizard person. The gnome said it, I just agreed.
But you expanded on it, you really understood what was going on there. You extrapolated from the
Okay, now
from the
Krane, you're
details.
using too big of words and you're hurting my brain.
Sorry. You took little idea made bigger.
Oh, thank you, Krane. Very nice, thank you.
Krane, was it?
Huh?
Something tells me you've been around a potion table before in your life.
My name is not Krane.
Don't lie to me. There's no use.
You gonna put a buck on your head and call yourself Fernando?
Who's Fernando?
What about what was it, George? He makes the spackle. Jorge, he makes the spackle.
You'll make this back.
I make the spackle.
So, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I totally lost where we were.
Waywalker was talking to you.
Yeah, Waywalker is calling you.
Oh
liar.
yeah, I made a potion once. That is true. But my name is not Krane. And
For some reason, I just you're booming with untruth.
but I told you I made a potion before. I've done it at least a couple times.
Yeah, I can tell. Your fingers look like they have the telltale signs of acidic substances under the nails.
Krane sniffs his fingers.
It's not so much a sniff as it is like differently colored cuticles to where certain ingredients have sort of gotten in and done some damage to the skin that doesn't get repaired.
There's like one tiny little mushroom cap sprouting from one of the fingernails.
Oh no. Endless mushrooms.
Do you know the Mushroom Man?
Do you know the mushroom?
Endless mushrooms now at Olive Garden.
Who
Oh,
lives
no.
at Frank's house?
Was that an
Endless-
April Fool's thing?
Endless pasta.
Oh,
Endless mushrooms. You get it.
yes, I love that.
I could also said a Red Lobster because they have endless shrimp.
Oh, sure. My sister Mickey said that was the absolute worst time to work at Red Light.
Oh, I can imagine.
Good.
How long did they say we were gonna be like waiting in here?
About
It's
a
like
half
at least
hour.
half an hour.
So yeah,
Are we getting close?
the guy will come back any second. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Say Embra's got information for the party, but I don't know these other two people, so.
Yeah. No, I mean you can keep your conversation quiet. I mean, it's still a big space, and like remember, this is like 15 feet away from you, so it's easy to keep it down.
By the way,
Also show.
my sucker was also a Tootsie Pop. Like the big
Nice.
ones.
Oh, it's one of those ones with like the stuff in the middle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything?
Huge fan.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
I can tell you,
You may
probably
never know.
It's 200 and something.
A
Depends
lot.
on like how
That's a who?
tongue you.
Well, when I did it, it was like 200 something.
When did you do that?
A long time
I
ago.
didn't have the patience.
Nobody has the patience.
Yeah.
I thought it was roughly about 3.
1, 2, 3.
I'd like to imagine it's Vazur doing a test.
Hmm.
He's doing it on like rock candy or
Yeah.
something.
Then just
Chomp.
fucking crunch.
So
Question is, do you like the Tootsie Pops more or the ones with the bubble gum inside?
Oh, Tootsie Pops.
Ooh, yeah,
Tootsie Pops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can swallow the Tootsie Pop part.
You can swallow the
Jesus.
bubble gum too.
You could swallow the gum. It's a
Yeah.
bad decision.
Why?
If you want to die.
Yeah, I've done it before. Just bite off
Well, you-
little pieces. Hi.
Incredible.
I'm sorry. What was your name again, miss?
Waywalker.
Walk it? Walk it.
Waywalker. Do you find yourself in the persuasion of alchemy?
No, I just like to think I have a keen eye.
What, do you find your trade to be?
She thinks for a moment, and she'll say, I'd like to think of myself as a freelancer. I keep my business open to those who I have cause to agree with, therefore leaving me fulfilled and satisfied at all times.
But are you?
No, life is shit. This just passes the time.
Okay.
That's why there's alcohol.
I suppose there's parts of life that are definitely more trending towards negative, but I suppose if you find work you enjoy and people you enjoy being around, then you can always try to find a silver lining, right?
I'd say it's one of the choices one can make that leaves them feeling important.
I suppose that is a fair point of view. Also, I realize that my friend and I took your seat. Would you like it back?
Oh, it's good to stretch, and honestly, either way, I think I'm, due to my stature, at the same height whether I'm standing or sitting on these benches. It really doesn't affect me at all.
I feel that.
This is
How tall is
sitting. This is standing. I'm sitting.
5'2".
How tall is everyone in the party?
Well, Reinhold's like 6 foot something. Krane is also 6 foot something. Vazur straightened is I think almost 7 something.
6'3".
Reinhold,
6'3".
2, actually. But you were very close.
No, Reinhold 6'3".
Oh, I thought you were saying Vazur.
I thought we established that like Vazur because he's kind of like hunched over, but like him like completely like straightened. It was almost like 7 foot something. I thought.
I mean, that would be like tail length include probably. Well, no, that'd probably be a couple more feet. But no, just fully straight would be 6'2". He's hunched over. He's like 5 something.
Like from feet to like if he was standing like on feet, yeah, he'd be 6 foot. But like in length, he's probably close to a little over 7.
Okay.
How long is his tail?
I'd say it goes at least
Pretty
a foot.
long.
Yeah, like at least a foot past where like his feet would be standing. So like there's a foot's length of like tail drag behind him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see. I'd say Riven's like 5'10".
How tall
You're
is
short.
Wait.
I'm not short.
You
How tall is
short.
Wait?
You do realize when you say 5'10", I'm gonna say like 6'1", right?
On Tinder, I'm 6'1".
Yeah. That's right.
How tall is Waywocket?
About 3'2", I think it was, somewhere around there.
Oh, so tiny.
3'4", and then he was 4'2", I think. Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, but Embra's still just like really short compared to everybody else in the party, though.
How tall is Embra?
5'2".
Nice.
Too little.
I didn't catch how tall Krane was. I'm sorry.
Crane's like 6 foot, maybe 6'1". A little shorter than Reinhold.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
feel like
I'm
I feel
using
like
my
my-
characters to live out my dreams of being tall.
that's fair. I feel
I
that.
definitely thought Krane was like 6'5", like taller than Reinhold.
Okay, yeah, that can be a thing.
Well,
Right, cool.
I was curious because on your actually on your D&D Beyond, I think you put tall in the height section. For Krane.
I did put
Yeah.
tall in the height section.
That way it's
Like
malleable.
just the word tall.
Yeah.
So Reinhold as comparison is just like a compressed image. Like he's just super bulky but kind of shorter.
Like
Well,
pixel art.
Reinhold is more buff.
But oh yeah, I mean look at him.
Krane is like
wearing-
fit, but he's just tall.
You could fit like 2 of me in Reinhold's shirt.
Yeah, I think we established this. Yeah.
Actually, you know how I imagined like Phoenix was because he's like actually this is how I imagine most like barbarians, because sometimes or most of the time I would say they tend to try and use their unarmored like defense, right? It's almost like they're built like a prehistoric creature, right? Like they're wearing a suit of armor, but it's like under their skin and they're just like thickly built.
Wait,
Is
I
that
hate
why
that
he
word.
had a-
Don't say thickly ever again.
Is that why he had us down prehistorically?
Stop.
Maybe vastly built. I don't know. Yeah, like
Absolutely paleolithically.
I forgot how tall Phoenix actually was, but I guess for like Embra's family, she does have other siblings.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much the same height as Phoenix, so she's just very small.
Just the tiny.
Yeah.
And they're all brothers, so like it's like a bunch of like 6'2", 6'4" people.
Yeah, but then like in comparison, they're just like, yeah, this is like the
Right.
children of the Vesalius family. They're just like, all right, tall and tall and tall, and what happened?
Yeah.
They smushed you.
Smushed.
You got smooshed.
Didn't
got
drink your
thrown.
milk and eat your Wheaties.
That's right.
Got thrown around by my brothers too many times as a child, so I just stopped growing.
You compressed like a slinky.
Yeah, or like when what do you call it? Like in like Looney Tunes, and they like throw a can.
Oh,
and like,
accordion or something.
accordions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about when you get like an anvil dropped on you.
Oh,
Kind
that's
of
even
like
worse.
when
That
the
too.
accordion.
So, Embra, what do you want to relay to the party before that guy comes back to check you guys in?
Well, I didn't know if I was gonna do it like now or just
Sure,
like.
yeah, you can do it whenever.
It
Just
would be weird to be like, hey, everybody who's in the party, come to this corner, not you two random people, though.
yeah, whenever you're ready, just let me know, and we'll allocate just time to do that. But
Okay.
I will have this gentleman come back in and approach you, Reinhold, and give you the rip back. And he'll also give like the equivalent of like visitors bans, like you find at like a
Like a
Like when
Cedar
they-
Point.
well, no, well, yeah, like that or a concert, or like when they admit you to a hospital, right?
Gotcha.
But they just color code them, and it seems like you guys have the white bands, so they're nice like plain white strips of cloth.
And what does white mean in this context?
I think that's just how I would describe them separating people. Like instead of filling out name tags, like
Oh,
the white group was talking to the red group, and then there seems to have been an argument or a scuffle, and
gotcha.
stuff like that. It grants the benefit of like identifying like what party they're from, but while remaining anonymity. What the fuck?
Anonymous.
Yes, anonymity.
Remaining anonymous.
Yeah. So like, you don't want to
We
hear
are
that
Legion.
in a peace negotiation. General Patton threw a punch, right? It was like
Right.
a man in his 40s from the white group was discussing with the red group, and stuff like that.
Okay.
But if we're wearing what color the thing is, that's not the most anonymous system.
No, but
okay.
it's that way. If anything needs to get documented, and you want to omit a name, you could
Mhm.
say, and a person of Orcish descent from the white group, and that could be Reinhold or Krane. If Krane was
Yeah.
the only Orcish person, they'd say a male from the white group. They'd find a way to like muddle it if need be.
Mhm.
A person with green skin. Well, that doesn't narrow it down at all.
Well, we know it's not that ashy guy.
Hey. No, it's not, but I.
But
Are we
yeah, we'll-
huddling in the corner with Embra?
Well,
He'll give you the rip back and say there it's clear.
and which way to our bunks?
If you go straight ahead, past any of these side chambers, and he will point to them, he'll say, keep straight, you will encounter a long corridor, and there will be locked rooms on either side. Past that, you'll find another door with stairs at the end. Just go up there, and you'll have another set of guards escort you to your living space.
All right.
So basically,
Well, anything-
keep straight, 2 sets of stairs, and then you'll be guided again.
And which way to the room for the negotiating?
I would go out this side here, and I'll say it'll be the first door on your left. It's locked at the moment. However, if you want to see it, I'll just have to let, and he'll describe a gentleman to you who is a bit older, has a even longer sort of blade at his side, and he'll describe him as like big braided beard, like shock white, but with fire in his eyes.
And should I need any accommodations for the negotiations, should I speak with you or anybody else or a commander or something?
Well, we've repurposed the room for the time being. As of right now, it seems to be in, I'd call it an acquisitionary chamber, where we sort of go over some of the forms of payment that are offered through any transactions here, and also through whatever goods we may find that still hide in the mountain.
You take Apple Pay?
Skrill, actually.
We don't have many apples. I ate a couple of them.
In a very odd way.
Yeah.
Just unhinges jaw, inserts entire apple, swallows
The
once.
stem is not the most delicious part.
And he will take his leave and sort of, again, give you guys privacy and just kind of head back to the original post, it seems.
Well, Wyvern, Waywalk, I wish you both good luck. And I'm going to go see to some of the preparations.
Careful out there.
I'll do my best.
So we first.
Yes. As I am getting sort of ready to follow in Reinhold's lead, I will say to Waywalk, I will just say, before I leave, you may wish to tuck that metal in a bit more, just for when you're around others.
I see.
Before you leave, I'll say I'm gonna grab Krane and be like, Krane, we gotta go get Riven a shower.
It's Krane. I am not he, but I shall accompany you. Anyway.
Okay.
You can't catch me.
Come on, Vazur, let's go.
I is he and he is we.
Why you leave me behind?
Oh yeah,
Alright, so you guys saw Reinhold go this direction.
Yeah, I like how we just abandoned it.
There's no time for us anymore.
Says the one who died.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Pew, pew, pew.
That's rude. I don't
Killed him
think you're
again.
allowed to do that if you're the one who killed him.
I was already dead!
You see.
How do you admit it?
You see Reinhold further ahead, looking into a room that is actually. I guess Reinhold, this would have been like a portcullis, but I didn't have time to change it. So I just opened or left it unlockable.
It's dark
so,
in here.
you see a couple people in here. Kind of another grunt that sort of handles what seems to be transport or whatnot. And then a commander past him, it seems. Or a commander type, I'd say. He's clearly some sort of officer, and he's the guy who's pointing for people to do stuff.
Gotcha.
And in here is where you see all the gears and stuff turning. And in fact, I believe, you'll hear them if you get close enough, I think. But yeah, they sort of look at you and say, if you need a transport, I'm a bit slow at the moment, a bit short on help, but if you go ahead, I can at least have the grunts point you in the right direction.
No, I was just curious if this place was open to the public or not.
Okay.
You can come on in, just don't touch anything. Obviously, I'd appreciate if you kept your weapons stowed.
Oh, of course. You won't have any troubles from us.
And yeah, you guys get in here, and there's a bunch of gear work, and this seems like almost like a picking and distribution type thing. They have cranes that you see will kind of go up and store certain things on these sort of like invisible hanging shelves. Well, invisible to you guys just because it'd be tough to implement, but there's like shelves all around that is sort of setting stuff, so it seems to function as like a storeroom, also a pantry or something as well. And let's see here. Vazur, give me a perception check, please.
Okie dokie. Oof.
Alrighty. With an 8, it looks like for a split second, you see a label on a package that is on this pallet, as it is like slowly being hoisted into the air and sort of turned as to stow whatever's on there. But it looks like you saw some heraldry that you were familiar with from your stay at Torenheim. And it seems to be a package in the style of like components or chemicals or like ingredients you would buy from a place like Malashar. The sort of shipping material that they use seems to be similar to the one that's on that pallet. Yep, go ahead.
I was just going to. We've heard a lot of loud noises. Is that the renovations that we were hearing about?
I mean, some of it's renovations, some of it's us in here doing the job. We had a couple tinkerers working recently in a room almost adjacent to us, but I think they're on break now. No, but yeah, it can get a bit noisy. I wouldn't recommend being in here without ear protection, at least not for long periods of time.
Is this look like some sort of like lifts?
Yeah, so it looks like the chain that goes down into the ground. You see it rustling when it like turns on, like in that direction. So it goes under the ground, it seems, somewhere, and unlocks another portion, maybe.
Do these go down further?
Oh, not much further down. Maybe another, I don't know, 5 feet at the most. Just enough to get any gears in there and get a man, if anything breaks, to head down in the hatches and fix it all up.
And then where does this lift go?
I'm not exactly at liberty to say where it goes, but it functions in the opening and closing of certain things. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's just so interesting.
No, I can tell you got quite a few kits on you.
Yes, I did a tour and a stay at Torenheim for a while. And
Lovely place.
it is, and just a lot of this reminds me of my time there.
Yeah, might not be as pretty, but it gets us by and gets us in touch with the stone of the mountain. Although I will say, I do prefer it down here. We've got a bit softer rock. It gets quite cold up there in Torenheim. Hard to, so cold it doesn't even make it brittle. Don't really understand. But then again, they got a couple foundries in there, so maybe it cools or warms the stone up. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But yeah, you do well.
Would there be any chance that I could see some of, if you have anything like special? I don't know, something new. It's been a while since I've been around civilization.
Hell, kid, just don't do anything you shouldn't do. This boss guy is like playing the cool uncle and like just being like, I won't tell your parents, but fucking, I didn't tell you to do it. And he's like, I mean, I can have you help me move some of the empty pallets around to make space for new stuff.
Oh, I would love to help. To see how it works.
It's short-handed anyways. Well, my boss over there, he's got a bit of a bum leg at the moment, so I don't want to strain it any further.
Krane, would you mind assisting them?
I mean, I'm not Krane, but sure, I can do that.
Oh, sorry, not Krane.
Oh, what's your name?
The name is Zegblu. Mr. Robin Zegblu.
Oh, that's quite a unique name. Must be running the family.
I mean, I think names generally do that.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I never thought about that.
So I just picked this up.
Oh, yeah. Just wait for it. Go ahead and stack it on the other empty ones over here, and then we'll get a hoist over there. Darren, the door for the rooms will be further ahead.
Okay.
Where those people were kind of standing guard to the next level.
Gotcha.
It seems that this one you would hear the crack of arrows hitting wood and blade hitting wood and whatnot.
Is there a keyhole?
There is, yeah.
Could I peek through the keyhole?
Sure. Give me a perception.
Let me find it. There it is. Oh boy, a 9.
Okay. You see some movement in there, but you're not able to make out too much more. There's obviously a light source, and then every so often, when something moves in there, it cuts out the light source.
Okay.
Embra, this gentleman, as he's waiting for Krane and Vazur to finish their impromptu task, he says, like your hair. Wish I could dye mine that color.
Thanks. Wanna touch it?
I don't know if I should. Isn't that, well, it's flame.
No, just touch it. I promise it won't hurt.
Oh. Yeah, if you don't mind. That's cool. I've never, never touched fire hair before. It's different. And he'll sort of hesitantly reach out and just kind of, while his boss isn't looking, kind of just have a swipe at it. He's shocked that he doesn't burn.
So how was it?
Not unremarkable, but at the same time, anticlimactic. It is cool, though. How do you style it?
Just style it regularly. I don't know what you mean.
Wow, that's, and he's just, marveling at it.
Fair enough.
Reinhold sprints back into the room and then leaves.
The door here,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It's considered a wall, so I couldn't go through it.
Oh, really?
I can open the door. Yeah.
That's funny. Here, how about that? And then these. Oh, and then these. That should do it. Maybe? I don't know.
Let me try. There we go.
There you
Okay.
go. Go. Alrighty. If you guys would like to continue, the way to get towards your domiciles would be this way straight. Although Reinhold is just, as you sort of catch out of the corner of your eye, just go back the way you guys came for a moment.
I'd like to put my ear up against the door here and hear
Sure.
if there's anything going on.
Yeah, I'll do a separate perception roll for this one.
Okay. Oh, Tom.
Listen, improvement. We want to see improvement every day. Yeah, you hear like almost the clicking of a piece of metal against something very dense in mass.
Is there a keyhole to look through on this one?
This one actually seems a bit more gummed up.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Not less used, but almost corroded in a way.
Oh, interesting.
And with the one thing that you can make out that you can't mistake is it seems to be a desk with a candle on it, and in that little brief bit of candlelight, you see a magnifying glass.
Can I knock on the door? That's not a question if I can. I'd like to knock on the door.
Sure, yeah, this is D&D. crazy.
You must ask for consent before you knock on the door.
Yep. May I
Yeah,
knock on your door?
It sort of has that rattle that like metal screen doors do. And
Yeah.
something reverberates from inside the frame of the door. And you hear from inside, acquisitions.
Hi. I seem to be a bit lost here. I'm looking for the rooms, the bunks, whatever.
Bunks are further ahead. This is usually used as a conference room.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep, just go straight.
Well, going straight would mean he'd go in the door.
I'm gonna
That's
close
not
the door
wrong.
on the way over here.
Nice. So yeah, Reinhold locked you guys in. Crazy. Love that. And then
Reinhold,
Vazur and Krane, how long are you guys over here doing a brief bit of manual labor?
Can Vazur deduce, like, these lifts, which way do they go?
Yeah, so it seems that these two lifts, well, I'd say this one more than this one, are used to, like, this one is used to move stuff around the inside of the room here, and it will reach pretty much every corner.
Oh, okay.
Although most of the storage is going to be, like, on the back wall. And
So
then this crane actually does have the ability to go down a bit, although you're not too sure. It's got a bit of a short winch, so probably not more than maybe 10, 12 feet.
Okay.
And you see, like, there's a bit of, like, right now it's in, like, a storage mode, but there's a piece of, like, stone here that would be able to lift up and set off. And it's like you would grab it with, you see, like, two hook holes, I guess how I would call them. Like, where you would fasten, like, something to pick it up and move it. Hitch? I don't know.
Okay. Then probably just for a little while, like a good, 10 minutes or so, just to chit-chat and get to know these guys a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this guy doesn't seem too talkative, and he's kind of like reading a book that he's got folded over the other corner, like a parchment back book. And then this guy is obviously more talkative, trying to pass the time, and he seems that he's been, like, screwed over, and, like, they're so short-handed, and, like, he's just kind of pulling, like, his third double of the week.
It's a bit of work. It sucks that you're so short-handed.
Yeah, but I mean, I get good pay, especially, if I'm working a double here. So I, send some money home to the family, or perhaps, a love interest or something. Maybe put a couple gold pieces on a dog at a track or something.
Do you guys get overtime?
I think so. That's what
You
gets paid
think
extra
so?
for doing more, right?
I mean, more than like you agreed to. Isn't
Yeah.
that right?
Because every time I pull
Yeah.
a double, I make double.
Well, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, so like
That's-
I'm working, instead of working 6 hours for a gold piece, I work 12 hours for 2 gold pieces.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, they should. Vazur, I think they should get paid more. Don't you think?
Oh, for sure. Totally.
Yeah. You guys should get paid more.
So, I think, we've earned a bit of a question or two, maybe?
Yeah, go for it.
More of a curiosity than anything, because I've always lived in the swamp, and there's some treasures here or there living underground. What is the most interesting thing you've ever found?
Well, I found like a piece of agate that was running up the side of like a ruby and zoisite vein.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it was quite nice. There was a vein of zoisite, and it was like streaks of green running into like the pinkish red ruby. And when I cracked another piece off, there was an agate that was embedded right next to it. It was quite fine. I was actually, and he made sure his boss isn't over there. actually able to chop off a piece and keep it for myself, make a bit of jewelry. And he rolls up his sleeve, and you see him wearing a bracelet with a piece of agate on it.
Oh, I don't blame you at all, and that's fine work you did there. If you don't mind my saying.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what we're trained for. One of the things that I'll pull out is one of the like cultural decorations will do for like, especially for Dwergar or mountain dwarfs as well. They will match pieces of like gemstone or sandstone that sort of match their like hair color, and sometimes they'll shave off a piece of hair and like affix via like an adhesive like pieces of gems or minerals that like either their family sort of identifies with or that they like for stylish purposes.
Okay.
So yeah, this guy's art, like most of this is white hair, but some of it is like quartz crystals, right? And they're just sort of embedded in.
And another thing, I'm just curious. In this area, have you ever found any onyx under here?
A lot of coal. Fortunately, no onyx. Honestly, it's a bit rare for this region. But then again, I mean, mountains in this area are fucking big. Have a few thousand feet to go before you're even at sea level.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, I thank you for your time, and
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
no problem. And we'll see you around probably.
All right, sounds
Krane
good.
just keeps picking things up until you tell him to stop.
Okay,
Oh,
Krane,
yeah.
it's time to go.
Ooh, what? Huh?
I have to go find the others.
Yes. It was good to meet you. Remember that Robin said hello.
Oh shit! I mean, Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, can I get a phonetic on this?
It's Rob. First name Robin,
Yeah.
and then last name Zegblu,
Ooh, Zegblu. Okay.
as in Robin Zegblu.
Yep. I get that. Oh, I love it. All right.
Let me
Beautiful.
do the thing.
So, where do you think the rooms?
Straight ahead.
They are straight ahead.
Excuse me, sir, is this I'll point over this way? Is this the way to the rooms?
Oh, not the room that you'd be interested in going, friend. In fact, if you were going there, well, you'd probably be on your last leg.
Oh, well, what's over there then?
The usual cages, hooks, iron maidens.
Ah, understood. I take it it's past this door in front of us then.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. He will go here. Hear that same sort of rhythmic modulation, and he will kind of tap with like a scepter on the stone in a certain way on certain parts of this sort of filigree on here. And after a few moments, you'll hear a winch somewhere off in the distance groan and come to life, and then this door will unlock. And why don't we open it? In fact.
Oh, what are these?
What are
those?
Yeah. And then once you guys enter, they will close the door behind you.
Hold on, let me enter before I close the door behind me.
Do-do-do-do-do.
No!
Not right now. I mean, fuck.
Don't detonate me!
Robin Crane.
Rain? Robin Crane?
Robin Crane. So as you guys enter, on either side, beaming down in this sort of hue of blue-white ghostly light, you see these eloquent and elaborate dwarven statues that are about 7 to 9 feet tall, it seems. And they're just sort of bathing down from the eye sockets in this light. And when you guys step over this light, there's a like a twinkling in the air, like wind chimes that sort of serve as like an alert, like a proximity alert.
Vazur's just staring into the light for a moment.
Oh, I love the lighthouse.
Vazur, don't go towards the light.
What? Oh, sorry,
It's
Ryan.
not very pleasant.
It wasn't that bad, right, Riven?
Yeah, well, anyway. I'm gonna get more twinks as we go past the other lights.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Nah, sounds about right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, great.
So, Reinhold, the one thing you see when you get over here, you have a locked door with a sign, and if I drag this onto the map, I think you should be able to see it. It says "No admittance whatsoever!" Exclamation point.
Where?
Right here. It's placed on the map as a journal note.
Oh, I don't see it.
Oh, here. You might have to go to your journal notes tab on the left side. Not the sidebar on the right, but the token control side. So like the banner shape and then the magnifying glass, I think you should be able to toggle it and see what's on here. If not, I can just double check and see if you guys got permission.
Oh, yep.
For this.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. Yeah.
No admittance whatsoever.
Yep. Not even except on party business.
That sign doesn't affect me because I can't read.
Thank you. I don't know why these walls are a bit screwed up. There we go. God, I'm such a handyman. I can fix 2 doorways in the matter of seconds.
Any signs on the other 2 doors?
Nothing on the side door here. In fact, this you would actually see like lavatory would be here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you actually hear, or not hear, I'd say. You'd feel there's a moistness in the air here, and every so often you can see like steam coming out of this door.
It's me.
Oh, is that a bathroom? Like a actual bathroom?
That's what it looks like, Riven. If you want to go finally clean yourself up for the first time in I don't know how long.
3 years.
Which one is it?
It's
the
this way.
Bath? The bath is the one where you like use soap and you sit down and you like clean yourself.
liberal amounts of soap, please.
Riven, you
Yeah.
see a door on either side.
If you need some help, I mean, it's kind of personal, but I'm sure Reinhold would be more than willing to help.
Nope.
So there's 2 baths in here, and there's also like a couple sinks, and then like some toilet doors.
I imagine I'm probably just going to be scrubbing furiously for a minute.
I would hope so. Yeah, the water turns
all would hope so.
an unsightly form of gray, the 51st
God.
shade of gray.
Oh God.
How many shades of gray are there?
Oh yeah, you moved over there, huh?
Yeah.
So,
I can't see anything.
So Reinhold, just so I can give you a bit of an accurate picture. So you went down the stairs and got
Yeah.
teleported. Thank you for the audio cue of "Oh God," because it takes you a bit further away than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But you head down there, and there would actually be. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, do you want me to go back to the beginning of
No,
it?
no, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
Just
okay.
when you get through that metal door, I forgot to make this guy visible, so I'm just going to do one. There is one of these guys.
The hell?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, like an Iron
What?
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Iron Man or like the Colossus or something. I don't know. But and you see one of
Jarvis.
these guys, one of the grunts. He says, "Hey, unless you got correspondence to head in, I'm gonna have to stop you here, friend."
Oh. Sorry. What room is
Faculty
this?
only unless otherwise stated.
Oh, all right. Sorry for the trouble.
Yep, no worries. Boom.
Zoom.
Isn't that fucking cool?
That is pretty sweet.
You like that shit? Alright.
You like that shit?
You like that shit?
Like that silver.
Alright, so as you guys enter this room, and in fact, I'm gonna put down a bit of a temporary wall here, so you're not having to render that whole area. As you sort of enter this communal room, you see there is like small bookshelves around. There's some storage crates at the foot of like some bunk beds, and this seems to be like the common room equivalent of like lodgings. And there's like these like gray feathered couches. There seems to be a couple sitting at a table with a small child. There is a let's see. There's a
Is
adult
there a child here?
You know,
It's like itty bitty child.
there's an adult dwarf, and then a very scholarly-looking half-orc gentleman, and more food and drink and whatnot, and a nice
Just
fireplace
more
with
pie.
a reading nook.
Where's the pie?
It's everywhere. Pie abundance in this place.
Make it easy this time, Vazur.
Pan over to Vazur, just roll.
Pace yourself.
You get some like looks as you guys enter the room, but they'll sort of just nod and hey, howdy, welcome, all that stuff. Kind of brief small
Just here
talk.
for pie.
Just here for pie. You see a couple. Seem to be, looks to be a married couple of a pair of older gnomes. I'd say the man is like in his 150s, which would be like 40-year-old, I'd say ish. And then the woman, maybe a little bit younger. Her human equivalent would probably be like mid-30s. And then the small child is actually dwarven, and probably 8 to 10 years old, something like that.
What do you think the child did to be?
I don't often talk about children POWs.
Do you think the child's being like held for ransom or something?
They probably adopted it, Krane.
As
Oh,
this is just a curious question on my part.
Sure.
At that young an age, how easy is it to tell a gnome child from a dwarven child?
Difficult because there is no like facial hair yet. Haven't really built out the body. So yeah, it's actually.
But dwarven childs are born with their beards.
You know what I would call it? I would call it a misnomer.
Boo.
Oh, you don't like that?
That don't
Yeah.
me much.
All right. Thank you, Shania. I'm gonna have to start paying royalties.
I didn't hear it.
Oh well, I don't know what to tell you. Shania was doing work there. Okay. You guys pretty much have time to kill. Embra, if you want to have a conversation in this place, feel free to do so. It is getting a bit later in the night. I'd probably say it's closer to like 9 p.m. now, so the others are kind of like winding down in a way, maybe having like a nightcap. But you guys have had a day of travel. But at the same time, you guys were just fed and kind of been moving recently, so you're not really feeling all too sluggish yet.
Excellent. Temi went to use the bathroom, so she gave me permission to beat Embra.
I love it.
I'm better than all of you.
Oh. No lies were told this day.
There we go.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, it doesn't matter how you feel, so that's fine.
Oh, thank you, Embra. How to destroy.
That's
In
not
one
what
simple
Chompy would
trick.
say.
It's not character assassination if it's completely accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
All right. So, whatever you all want to discuss or ask away, feel free to do so. If you guys have any questions about the archive, obviously Embra will be able to relate it with her quite high roll from recently.
So why do we keep asking about like the conference rooms and stuff if we're not actually here for the conference rooms and stuff?
Keep that on the hush hush, Krane.
But okay.
It's at this point that I think Nosh and I would probably be exiting his bath.
Who?
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. Riven.
negative
No,
inspiration
No,
point.
I know I'm gonna do it too. I'm just taking the
No,
piss
it's-
out
Does
of E.
no, but if you do it to yourself, then do you take like a point of psychic damage every single time?
Oh, maybe.
I think ultimately, out of all of us, I think it would probably happen the most with me. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's me. But I don't know exactly how, like, the skin color would look if, like, a half drow was raw, like, you know, when you scrub yourself and you get, like, bright
Yeah,
red.
it might be gray instead of like, because you said you started your skin at like a purplish tint, right?
Yeah, pretty much like
I would think
off
it would gray.
purple.
Yeah, off purple. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I'd kind of like walk in, still Reinhold shirt on me. Just pretty much
No,
like
you have like a
super
bathrobe
gray
and like a
looking.
towel turban. This place has got amenities.
Does it?
It do.
Free continental
Got little
breakfast.
slippers.
I thought we were trying to remain anonymous.
No,
An enemy.
I just want to see the little towel turban thing.
Mhm.
Bathrobe. You know.
So this feels weird.
Being clean.
Well, that's not the word I was referring to, but the idea of like vigorously scrubbing. A lot of dead skin came off.
You'll have that on occasion. Especially
Yeah.
if that occasion is your first real bath and once again, don't know how long.
Definitely a handful of
Dirty
years.
little boy.
No, we were just getting together and I got out of my bath. Yeah, I'm all like gray because of how like raw I've been scrubbed.
Right.
They have industrial loofahs, like Brillo pads.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
You mean steel wool?
The steel wool boys.
Yeah, also known as Brillo pads.
I love Brillo pads.
They're great.
Alright, Embra, tell us about this archive.
Right, so. First, she's gonna touch Nosh, or not Nosh, Riven, and be like, nice.
It's kind of uncomfortable,
What, the touch or the being clean?
the touch.
Sorry.
So, Embra, what, I guess, how do you want to approach kind of discussing the archive? Because, obviously it has a lot to do with the importance to the Genasi. Like, there's a lot of knowledge that is said to be about Genasi, like upbringing and culture that is locked away, and has kind of often been sought after. And beyond that, you also just rolled a really high history, so I can ask any or answer any questions you ask, along with any that the parties choose to ask, to a certain extent.
I don't know. I guess I would just tell them, a long time ago I read a book.
Right.
It was one of like the last books that had details about this archive, and then I would relay information that I know, like, generally, like, I know the general area of where it should be, kind of, sort of, but, like, I wouldn't be able to just be like, haha, here we are.
One thing on top of kind of Embra's knowledge is that legend is it was a person of like, oh, what would I call it? Give me a second here. I want to think of an appropriate sort of demonym, like to describe like a Genasi. I would call it something along the lines of like a oh man, something planar, extra planar maybe, demi-planar, I think is one that I used before. Basically, someone describing like natural-blooded, sort of as it is in an elemental sense. That a Genasi was the last to sort of lock the archive, and it's possible that you need a Genasi to unlock it again. Either one of the same kind, or just one in general, some demi-planar being. So that is why it's under so much sort of pull when it comes to the culture of the Genasi, is that it holds a bunch of, even unknown to them, like secrets about sort of lineage and whatnot.
What is the significance of this archive to us?
So, for you guys as a party, it's just kind of the way to fulfill what Thibodeau has asked. However, beyond that, I think in a real-world sense, we would... maybe not so much Library of Alexandria, but like a light version of that.
Okay.
Where
So we're not going to find the missing steam engine from the Roman times.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would equate the contents of this archives to like the lost knowledge of the Golden Age of Islam.
Okay.
Rather than like a Atlantis or a Library of Alexandria, I would say. Also, can I diverge with a fun fact, kind of?
Sure.
I don't remember the name of this like Greek sad tale myth type thing, but it's the guy who's like was forced to be tortured by like having crows eat a piece of his liver or something, and that happens every like couple days.
That's Prometheus.
Yes, Prometheus. Thank you. So that actually it caused me to think: did the Greeks know that the liver regenerated?
They had to have, right?
I mean, maybe they just knew it was a body part, and it's like something that's important to us, and that's why he was doomed to have a crow eat it or whatever it was.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Greeks knew something like that.
Yeah, that's just cool, right? It's like an eagle ate Prometheus' liver every day, but grew back so the eagle could eat it again or whatever.
I think it was a Greek philosopher of sorts.
Don't you dare!
Come on, I'm waiting for it. Hold on to these. Hold on to these.
Sagandis.
Yeah. Go on, E.
It was the Greek philosopher Testicles.
Isocles.
As soon as you said Greek philosopher, everyone was like, "Stop!"
Nope, can't trust it. All right, sorry. Hit me with more archive questions, Embra or anybody, whether you want to clarify or whatnot.
Would Embra be able to recognize the archive if we did find it? Archives, sorry.
I would
check.
Yeah, I mean, you feel free to say what you think, because I'm curious as to your input regardless.
Sorry.
I understand he's talking to me. I was reading my information.
Das Manuel.
Das Manuel?
Lin-Manuel?
All's well at Manuel's.
I don't know if I know what it looks like.
Okay.
Like I know the description of it.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, would you understand like the significance, or not to say that's not the right word? Kind of like if you get into like a hospital, you know you're in an operating room, You know, like if you walk into an operating room, you know you're in that operating room. Would you
Well,
kind of understand that if we walked into a room, you'd be like, this room has the presence of the archives?
Would I be able to just know that, or would it?
I would say
did
when
it-
you get to the door that unlocks something further and mysterious, Embra would feel that connection.
Okay.
It would
I was
almost
about to say,
it would ping to her akin to a detect magic.
Understood.
I mean, like Drew even said, it's kind of like a library, like the Library of Asking Alexandria.
But it's like
We're just
sunken.
waiting for that.
You're just
It's like
these
underwater.
jokes.
I
You're
think.
just still so strong.
I'm just a menace,
Oh my god!
still strong.
All right.
Isn't it like sunken like under the city though?
It's not that it's sunken, it's just further down than Dunmuldir. However, that being said, it being so ancient and full of knowledge, it's not unlikely that it is as vast as it's kind of been rumored to be. And the one thing that you know for sure is that it was before the idea of teleportation magic, so it had to have been sealed in a more conventional way, whether it be like a hidden door or a staircase or something like that unlocks or whatnot. You know that it has to be something physical. It's not like an invisible door with a spell on it that wards stuff, or it's got like teleportation magic. It's earlier than most magic, I would say.
So like we're gonna come up with like an actual like
Yeah, it'll
locked
be something physical.
door.
It might not be a lock. It could be like the one primal thing that might have been around at that time was like the idea of like a blood seal. So that might be the equivalent of a lock that you would get to.
Is it gonna be like a Tesla? Is it gonna be like a Tesla door handle on a car where you gotta like press it in and then it comes out?
Right. You push one side of the pipe into the National Treasure movie, and then you rotate it, and then the Declaration of Independence part of the pipe gets stolen.
It gets stolen.
Yeah. But yeah, it would definitely be it would definitely be a physical mechanism for sure at some level.
All right.
Drew, we're so fucking funny.
You don't gotta tell me twice.
Would the archivist still be there? You probably wouldn't know that. Would the archivist still be there?
Yes, I would say so. I would say that it's like the keeper must always be there, type of deal.
Okay.
Highlander, there can only be one, something like that. I don't know.
Should we expect any kind of threat or resistance in the archives?
If so, it will be hellish and something like you've never experienced.
Fantastic.
Which is why I designed 0 encounters for it, because why would I do that ever?
This is probably my last question unless I think of something else, but
Sure.
Is this the general-ish sort of maybe area that Embra would have known the archives to be?
Oh, like geographically, like on a map?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure,
Yeah,
because
Embra is like pretty confident that it's under Dunmuldir because it's like the perfect cover.
Got it. How old are the archives?
Old.
I got that.
Facts. Centuries.
I know the actual.
Would
I know like
yeah, I mean, for you, I'd say, God, I think, what the hell is the year? 1738. I'd say the archives would be. I mean, Dunmuldir is only about 200 or so years old. The archives would dwarf that by 4x, 5x, so it could be over a millennia. That being said, I will say, Embra, one of the things that sort of reaffirms your sort of status on like believing that the archive is down past Dunmuldir, like further into the ground, is that when it was sort of proposed to be built and funded, it came from a group that had heavy ties to like historical research and salvage and stuff like that, and it's possible that like they might have swayed a person who gets to legislate stuff like that getting into effect, kind of taking that to its final course.
Okay.
So, question, Embra.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned something about it being tied to like the Genasi in a way. Do you think that you'd have to be like an Earth one to get in?
Do I know the type that sealed it the last time?
It is not confirmed what type. No.
Just kind of, we're underground. You would at least I think it would have some sort of connection, right?
I mean, it could, but fire also lights the way. Water can, clear the way. It could be any of them.
Why was it sealed?
To keep people out. That's like ancient information.
Like a nation kind of thing, like keeping its secrets.
I mean, yeah. I mean, not many people know about it, and any of the literature about it is like lost to time.
Right.
I
Or
just happened
speculative.
Yeah, I just happened to a few years ago, encounter a book about it, like one of the last like books with information about it.
So, for your family or for your own curiosity, you're attempting to uncover something lost to time.
Yeah, see what secrets are in there,
Super magics. I suppose then, I guess just on my intuition of sorts, the item that we're looking for specifically is under Dunmuldir. These archives are also under Dunmuldir. What do you think the odds are that they're in the same spot?
probably pretty good. I don't think there's gonna be, a lot of under Dunmuldir places.
We're pretty far down as it is, you're right.
Yeah, I doubt people, made like, here's a library here, and here's, a ancient rock cafe over here,
You say ancient rock cafe.
I
I
did.
love it. I love that.
For my own curiosity, Drew.
Yeah.
You had said that the Eidolon was obviously the sort of thing we are searching for. Why did it end up? How did it end up here again?
So the Eidolon refers to what the Shatterkai and even some Drow would call like their heaven, or like a gateway to their heaven. Sort of like the, I don't know, like the platform 9 3/4 to get the train to heaven works or whatever.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's yeah, I like that. It's an original. It's often found that people who sort of worshipped the matron mother that sort of granted that miracle to re-bridge the gap to the Shatterkai's heaven. A lot of her temples are found in caves in the underground and tombs, and that being part of it, there's been a lot of sort of primal anomalies and magic that are found around those areas, and one of them might be able to be, how would I say this? Modulated or
modified.
yeah, to function once again as that sort of bridge.
I'm asking once again for you to let me into heaven.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I have for the moment.
So when we get to like the actual place, will like I know what to do? Like be like we're walking past it and be like it's there.
You would, yeah, I think you would have to take a look at the mechanism that sort of keeps it closed and locked in the first place. As far as when you get in there, you guys are able to do whatever. I mean, you can interact with stuff however you want, because the thing is, like, until you see details about the place, you just kind of don't know. But yeah, you definitely, Embra, I'd say once you see this mechanism, you will have a way to sort of suss out getting in.
Got it.
Dun 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 dun.
What's wrong with you?
He said the forbidden word.
Did
What
I?
was the forbidden word?
He said sussed.
Oh,
Oh no, what did I do?
Darren left.
Darren just fucking gave up.
I hope that was a perfectly timed internet mishap.
Number 15 Burger King.
Oh, he's
With lettuce.
Unfortunate. Just kidding.
I love Genasi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Darren.
He really didn't like that one.
So, after some time, I would say that you would see a couple. Oh, Darren, you're getting a little bit of bottleneck on your connection, but I do hear
You're
you
really too new dubstep track.
transmitting some audio.
So where are we getting all these beds from? We're like doubling up.
Well, there's like.
There's only 6 beds, but there's like also like extra people here.
That's fair.
Well, there's
Hey, Drew.
6 sets of bunks.
Oh, they're
Oh, they're
those.
bunks.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that little thing on the side? It's a ladder.
Yeah,
I should have
you-
zoomed in better. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I call top
I
on.
call top. Fuck you.
Haha, get that.
Guess I'm bunking with Krane then.
Yeah.
Or
Crane's also gonna take top bunk.
Zegblu.
Robin Zegblu.
What bunk is Robin Zegblu?
I don't know.
Why does Robin Zegblu sound like Krane?
Who's Krane? I've never met him. He sounds
Isn't
really
it
cool though.
Isn't it weird how Robin Zegblu and Krane are never in the same room together?
Look, squirrel.
That would be very unlikely in an underground cavern
Oh.
such as this.
There you go,
But-
Krane.
But only Krane would know that.
That is the pinnacle of 11th intelligence, to be that quippy that quick. What do you mean underground squirrels, idiot?
I feel like I'm being made fun of and I don't like it.
No, we're making
that
fun
was-
of Krane.
Yeah. Not Robin.
Yeah.
Robin's cool, but this Krane also sounds pretty cool.
Oh god. Temi, what was the... It was like something we were talking about the other day. It was like a name or something we were trying to find, and I was like, no, honey, that's Lorcan Burn.
Stop!
Yeah. Yeah, Lorcan Burn, that's my...
It was like Arbiter of Truth or some shit.
Oh no, it was because we were looking for your new token, and we came across like Gaidon's like picture, and I'm like, oh look, it's Gaidon. You're just like, no, it's Lorcan Burn.
Yep. God, I love
According to anyone who asks, Lorcan Burn. High adjudicator of truth.
it. Yep.
I mean, hey, Onyx got him a woman.
True. Wait, what? What do you mean you got him a woman?
I made sure it happened. When we were at that party, when we first like met Nathaniel, I think, where that one magician dude was like fucking around,
Oh yeah.
and then Gaidon just like, oh, there she is, the love of my life, and I'm like, hey, love of his life, come here, go talk to him.
Oh yeah.
That sparks flew. She got, her house burned down and was hiding with a butter knife in a corner.
These all happened.
You
Emotional
see a
campaign.
small squad of Dwargar soldiers. You see the 2 Gruntswill. You don't leave. However, you will see the sort of warlordy type guy. He will sort of make an announcement and say, I'm afraid Sabin is done with meetings for the day. However, if you would try again tomorrow, sometime after breakfast, he'll be happy to meet with each one of you and discuss any concerns you might have for your meetings. And he will, without waiting to be asked any questions, he will turn and leave.
Damn.
Oh no. Whatever will we do? Wink, wink.
Robin, who are you winking at?
The audience, clearly.
You will
The
also,
wall.
You will also see, as that sort of commander type left, he will lock the door behind him. So this door is now locked.
Ooh.
Do you, Zach, are you here? Yeah?
I think he said he had to step away for a moment.
Okay. I was gonna... I guess I'll ask, Robin.
Yes.
Hey, Robin,
That's me.
when you were working with Vazur, you guys were looking on some sort of, like, lift or elevator or something, right?
Oh, I thought you meant like we were working on the snack table, because we did that too.
Yes, I saw. Did you tell if it was going down or up?
It's a great question. It was moving.
Yes. So which direction was it heading?
Around. It went away and then it came back.
Me too, bud. Me too.
Does Krane remember?
Yeah, are you...
Was Krane paying attention?
Is Riven asking about the chain that was moving pallets? Because that was just like a winch that was in that room.
When Vazur was asking about where something went.
Oh, gotcha,
originally.
gotcha. Yeah, so the one like crank that they had to do to open up the door that got you into the hallway with all the statues. The way to open that door is by using the crank, like in that other storage room, like 60, 70 feet away. So the chains would move towards where you guys are, activate something, and then kind of have it that way, engage that way.
But did they come to us from above or below?
That was actually on level ground here. The chain would have ran below.
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
Welcome back.
So, effectively, I'll kind of lower my voice and just say, so I guess the main idea here is that we need to, of a sorts, find a way down and keep taking it, correct?
Yeah.
Which means we should probably see...
Reinhold mentions that he was able to get down these stairs earlier, and that they went down about 15 feet or so.
So, if they head down, that might be where we first want to start investigating, right?
Yes. Down is where we want to go, unless we go back to the area where we were before and there was just a giant pit.
What do you mean?
When we first came in the area where we met,
He didn't have a name, he was just a grunt. The guy who took your, like, the writ.
Where we met, Gomleaf's Darkstone.
Yep, Werbin Silrax, and Waywalk Offend.
I was talking about the first, like,
the first grunt.
Duergar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So name.
In that
called them Gomleafs.
In that initial foyer past that sort of teleporter-looking thing, there was a big iron grate with just darkness below it.
Ooh,
yeah, so
that might be...
feather fall into there somehow.
Well, that would require stealing.
Or just someone has, like, feather fall.
Do any of us have feather fall?
No.
I have a feather, and I can fall.
That is the two components of the spell, right?
I'm sorry, I actually do know this spell.
Oh, so is it?
I do too, so...
Oh, well, there we go. You don't have to steal.
Choosing up to 5 falling creatures within range. And I think there are...
Not including scales.
Well, we would probably have to featherfall scales.
Scales can take the fall.
Well, if I casted it and then Vazur casted it, it would all be covered.
That's fair.
Did you just say you think he could tank the fall?
I believe in Scales' power. Do you not?
I do, but I also don't want to be sad, and then we have to, like, convince Vazur to put him back together again.
Scales can survive any fall once.
You'll see people
But
start
yeah, I think
tired.
I think,
and
that's,
going,
I think that could be a, cool idea. We just featherfall on down there.
Well, we'd have to find a way to move the grate, and then it's assuming that it doesn't lead somewhere like their plumbing.
Then you'd be purple again.
That's... ew.
I think that it would be worth a check. Make sure it doesn't smell like poo.
Oh, I didn't think it would be that. I was just more saying, just hoping that it leads further down instead of a sort of like into like some sort of chasm where they store something. I don't know. I'm saying that it is a toss-up, but I suppose
That's why I said it's worth a check.
fair
Not
enough.
like we have to go down to check. Maybe ask somebody, be like, "Hey, I dropped, a coin down there. Where'd it go?"
Fair. I am not that guileful.
I dropped a bag of 20 gold pieces. Who wants to go get it?
That's fair. Well, I guess kind of gauging the table, would that be something we would want to try then? I just know that I doubt they will have much knowledge of under Dunmoldir.
Yes, we also don't want them to know we're going under.
That's fair.
And I guess we haven't really explored the whole area, so that could be a thing too. There might be like an extra fancy spiral staircase that leads to the abyss.
True. Plus I don't think we're not allowed to explore the whole area.
Well, I think Reinhold was doing some exploring earlier.
I think it's limited, I guess is what I'm saying.
But I'm special. They'll let me look around, maybe, if they know my last name.
If you think you can pull that off.
I could try. Maybe not right now, but tomorrow.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Pull a last name card and see if they let me explore?
I don't know.
Certainly not my expertise either.
I don't really have a last name.
I thought your last name was Zegblu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have one, but it doesn't do much.
And until 3 days ago, I didn't have a last name either.
Well, you did. You just didn't
You're-
use it.
Your last name was Nashanai. First name Da.
Well, no, it wasn't. I'm not
Yeah.
the national.
It was your first name Nashanai, last name Da.
It was neither, because I wasn't the national.
Yeah, Krane, who's the Nashanai?
Thank you.
It's Robin.
Sorry.
We're just all dead naming each other. So, I suppose I'm not terribly good with guile and charm, as much as I think you were Reinhold.
Well, that's why I got a sending stone to my brother. On-demand coaching.
And then I still haven't, I guess, handed off the sending stone yet.
Take it.
The one that connects to Bowers.
I got
No,
this. Yes.
no,
I'm holding out my hand.
no. If your name's Robin Zegblu, you can't have the stone.
So you said you wouldn't give it to Krane, but what about Robin?
I just said I'm not giving it to Robin Zegblu
Why not?
because I don't know. I don't know this Robin Zegblu kind of shifty.
Not shifty at all.
That's something someone who's shifty would say.
Krane trusts Robin.
Yeah, well, Crane's not here. Crane abandoned us.
I
Krane,
trust Robin.
thank you, Vazur.
The only
Vazur trusts
I trust
Robin.
is you.
Vazur trusts Robin, so you should too.
Oh my goodness.
Drew's just having a great time.
I love it.
Can I hold the stone, please?
No,
Can I hold this down?
maybe.
Can I hold the stone?
I won't touch your skin again.
If I went and I got Krane, would you let him hold the stone?
Probably not. No.
Well,
Yeah.
you stink.
But he just got out of a bath.
It's
can he
it's
stink?
metaphorical.
I understand.
I'm going to bed.
Oh,
You
no.
can't go to bed. It's not bedtime yet.
I think it's roughly bed. Other people are in bed currently.
It could be
Oh,
bedtime.
shit.
Could be
Yeah.
heist time.
Yeah, Drew said
Yeah, I
people are
don't
getting
think it's
tired
heist
of
time.
bed.
Now he
Definitely
lies.
not heist time.
Yeah, I don't know if any of us are willing or able to break the law
To do what?
to gain our goals. Because you're like a noble, Reinhold's a paladin. I'm just a guy who likes to be a good person. Krane is willingly gonna do crime if he ever shows up.
Oh, do you want to talk to Krane?
You know, I did have a question about this. Did
Sure.
you guys, because I was gone, did you guys ever figure out about the thing that Krane was like talking to in his head?
Oh
Is-
yeah,
is-
that's a whole other story.
I was gonna say, is this like that persona just taking over and no one's paying attention to it?
Cal's manifest.
Do you
That
want
would
to talk
be
to
so
Krane? Like
funny.
Crane's in here, just not the front personality right now.
The voice in
Strange
Crane's
as
head
that.
is Robin Zegblu.
Abigail absolutely sandbags us with DID. Like,
Oh no.
Test.
That's
Hey,
not at
welcome
all what's
back.
happening.
Welcome back.
That is not
Hey,
at
we're
all
all
what's
so-
happening.
all of us are socially awkward except for you.
Josh and I
Was,
died,
Yeah.
and never mind.
We just are.
What?
We were
why is it-
effectively we were talking about possible plans to try and start looking for the archives, and
Okay.
Embra had recommended that there was a grate that just led down into darkness below, in one of the beginning rooms, and we were talking about going down that grate when no one's looking, potentially trying to find something below. There was either that, or Embra could use her family name and some guile to
I was
try
gonna
and
say
sort of.
feminine wiles, but okay.
I mean,
I mean, hey, if you look at
she
Ember's
did let a
token-
Dorgar touch her hair earlier.
I mean, hey, if
That
you
was
look at
weird.
Ember's token, she's not wearing clothes, so.
Well, I believe you're wearing clothes.
I am, but I'm just saying, you know.
But then we had pointed out that none of us were. Well, I had said that besides Embra and Reinhold, none of us are particularly suited to guile.
Okay.
But Embra also doesn't know how to talk to people.
So I pointed out that pretty much all of us are socially awkward.
One thing that
Huh.
happened, Reinhold, is here, I'll just recreate it. This guy came as you're.
I'm
getting
loading back in right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
There was sort of that Dwargar warlord type guy. One of the
The big guy or the
Well,
the
yeah,
Iron
one of the
Man?
commander officer type people.
Uh-huh.
He sort of came through a door, the door that actually kind of teleported you, right?
Uh-huh.
And he locked it behind him after some grunts came out with him, and he kind of announced to the room, Saban's not taking any more meetings today, and if you want to discuss anything with him, he's more than willing to talk tomorrow after breakfast. And then he locked the door behind him, and then left.
But Saban didn't come up?
No, Saban did not come up.
Good
So,
to know.
It would have been this boy here coming out of this door and then leaving.
Do we have an approximation on the time?
It's about 9:15-ish.
Betty
Okay.
bite. Still rock o'clock.
Time for the mater sleeps.
Well,
Nice.
we know we could potentially use the grate, sorry. See if we can get ourselves lifted down there, or we can go see what's behind the mysterious door that says no admittance whatsoever.
Ooh, sounds like a challenge.
Well, it was saying no admittance to whoever is named whatsoever.
Well, that's none of us, so...
We just march in, just hello, just it says no admittance to whatsoever. Yes, that's not my name. Oh.
Is all the other people asleep?
Yeah, they were going to bed or they were asleep. In fact, this fire would probably die down a little bit, but I'll just kind of turn it off for now.
And that child's just hanging in the air.
Yeah.
Child's levitating. Dad, do you believe in gravity?
Off
What?
Hanging off the ladder.
Okay, well, I'd say I'd give it a few minutes just to make sure they're all asleep. And then I'd head over to the door that says no admittance.
Lego.
And then put my ear up to it, see if I hear anything.
You do not hear anything.
See if there's a keyhole, look through that. Or any cracks or anything like that.
There's a keyhole, and I won't make you roll just because you already saw one version of this. It's like the other side, but mirrored. So there's another set of stairs.
Oh, okay.
However, it is locked.
I was going to say I'll try the handle, but it's locked, so... Let's give it a go on a old pick.
Okay. The old Thieves 2 L's.
Yeah, I gotta find those again.
Yeah, I think they're under, God, was it features?
Oh, there they are.
Inventory? I can't remember.
What's the roll? What do I make again? Is it plus what? Plus.
So it's your proficiency, which I think you took it as, I don't know if you took it as expertise or not.
No, I did not.
It should be set up on your inventory as a roll, I thought.
Okay, let me try that then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does work. Okay. Oh, it's Dex. That's why. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. A 13 would not be enough for this door. However, it doesn't. This wouldn't heighten the DC because these are actually pretty finely made and sturdy and don't damage quite that easily.
Plus,
it wasn't that low.
Does guidance? Does that apply to here?
If you said it before, it would, but you can always try again.
I was gonna say, so I could try again. All right. Guidance. I don't know why it still says I'm concentrating on bless. I haven't been concentrating that for like days now.
Because you didn't have.
Because you're
always blessed.
And then thieves' tools again. Oh boy, this isn't gonna be much better.
All right.
Roll an 11.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's giving you a bit of trouble.
Is it like a padlock or like an actual door lock? Like a handle.
I'll say it's got to be some form of door lock.
Okay. Does it seem like it's getting any more difficult, or is it still?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's just tough.
All right. Let me let me cast guidance again. It's a cantrip.
I'll say this is the last one before a thieves' tools would break.
Okay. All right. Oh gosh, just getting worse. Boone, stop. 11 again.
Okay. They do not break, but you can't. I'll say we're at a point where these tools right now will only beat a certain DC, and they're just starting to work against you and bending in weird places and not gonna function like they should.
Ow!
Who else has thieves' tools?
Doesn't Vazur have all tools?
I think Vazur has all tools.
Oh, cool. Vazur can just wang this door apart and then we can just go in.
Vazur unhinges your door. You know what? Fuck you.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Nothing.
Well, yeah.
But
Vazur is proficient. Yeah.
I can take a look.
Yeah, take a try. And here, take some guidance while you're at it.
There you go.
Take a stab at it.
So Vazur, it'll be the thieves' tools from your inventory, and then you can add a D4 on top of that after.
All right.
Okay. 15, not bad.
Alright, that's a higher number.
Plus a D4. Hey, 19.
19? You know what? I'll give it to you.
I was gonna say, if not, I was gonna flash a genius.
That's fine. Even, you know what? Use it up, because it's fine. I'll say it was 20.
So geniusy.
Because it was 20. Oh, how did Krane get past the locked door?
Some
Krane.
Vazur.
Look!
Oh, because you're with Vazur.
Sorry.
That's so funny. I didn't even think of that. That is fucking
Krane just
hilarious.
walks through the door, just guys.
What the heck?
Okay.
Stone walk.
Vazur is unlocked now.
And the way is open for you, Reinhold.
All right.
I'm gonna disconnect Krane from you for this, just so
No.
just so we can move accordingly.
No more glitching hacks.
Okay. There we go.
And I will
Oh,
keep
you
my
already
eyes
passed.
peeled. Keep my eyes peeled, but
Yeah.
descend.
Do you have your armor on, Reinhold?
Krane, I'm gonna
I
ahead
would
and move one more
assume
Vazur.
not, but
there you go. And then Krane will
but
go.
just
There you go.
for posterity's sake, I would have taken off my armor at this point.
This is a D&D campaign. Who takes off their armor?
Someone who doesn't want disadvantage on stealth.
Yeah. Okay.
Let
So
us
Krane,
do
I'm gonna
that.
leave you unattached from Vazur for right now.
I'm not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, same thing. Trying to peek or hear on the other side of this door, or both if possible.
Okay. Give me a perception check through the keyhole or door hole, whatever it is.
All right.
Oh wow, that was weird.
I don't mean to be scummy, but do
Yeah.
you want to put any kind of limitation on guidance?
No, because that's what it's there
Okay.
for.
Okay, well, I'm gonna cast guidance then.
Alright, lessen guidance, but make true strike stronger.
I'll
Holy
take it.
shit,
28.
20 yeah, 28. God damn. I'm just gonna, I will describe to you what you see. You see a bit of chain hanging off from the keyhole that is like obstructing it a little bit. But past that, your eyes focus on a cannon that is wired up to a keg of something. And you see half a dozen cannonballs in the corner of the room.
Okay.
So there is a cannon pointing at this door that has a chain affixed to it. And attached to the cannon is a keg of something.
Oh,
Everyone, the door is trapped with a cannon.
Krane, does your wand work with stuff like that?
I mean, it just tells you where the traps are. It doesn't do anything to disarm them.
Shit.
How can we disarm the trap? I can't.
What kind of roll would that be?
Sleight of hand, probably.
Oh god.
Guys, there's an easy
You know
way
what?
to disarm the trap.
For you,
Just-
Vazur?
No.
Tinker's
Just
tools,
set up.
maybe, I guess. I don't know.
I could fucks with that. but
I mean,
would like to
I
get
mean,
Embra's
technically it's
suggestion
still
first.
thieves' tools, right? I mean,
In a way.
yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Wait,
Thieves' tools is fine.
it's like a burglar's kit.
wait.
Yep, yep, Go on. Go on.
We're waiting.
Wait.
We're waiting. We're waiting. Are you gonna cast disarm trap?
No.
No.
Just wait.
No.
Oh, I don't have it.
Look at you not having whatever it is you don't
I
have.
was gonna see if I had like some kind of create water or something like that, and like wet the gunpowder in the cannon, because I could kind of see it in the door. And yeah, no, I don't have anything. I only have purify food and drink.
No. If you want, we could open the door, but I could just dodge the cannonball.
Oh, and then everyone knows that we've set off the cannon trap in the basement of the place we're not supposed to be. By the way, did we close the door behind us?
Probably.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I believed that the characters would.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
But given our
I
track
didn't.
record, I don't know.
Just to clarify something, Embra, are you staying at the top of those stairs?
No, I was connected to like Riven, so like he went through, and then
Gotcha.
I just
Wait, I have an idea.
Yes.
Honestly,
Um,
it might be good to stay up there so you don't cause like a political
What?
incident with your family.
What
I
if-
can say she's looking.
that's a good
What-
idea. Let me back up there.
What if?
Oh, no.
What do you mean? Oh no.
No,
Mm.
go ahead.
So so what if I took a bow and I like tried to break the chain Would that disarm the trap or would that set it off?
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, getting a look at it. What
I'll
does it
say
look like?
it would be easier to disarm the rope that connects the cannon to whatever it's attached to.
Oh, Krane,
Okay.
if you can make that fucking shot, that'd be so cool.
Can I shoot the rope?
Not while
Well-
Riven has your bow.
And
I have
not
2
while the
bows.
door is
Oh.
closed.
I'll see.
Is it visible through the crack?
Well,
Let me just ask,
Reinhold
how much can we
can-
open the door before it triggers, or does so you can see how taut the chain or rope is?
oh yeah, you can like inch it open, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. How much do we got then?
Okay, so first you have to unlock the door
Oh, right.
because you guys only
Okay.
worked through it so far.
All right, Vazur. I'll
Okay.
let you step in on this one. Oh, and here.
Thank
Hey,
you.
how's it
And
going?
I Krane, you back up as well, just in case I don't do well.
Get wet?
In case I don't do well.
No, what was the first part though?
Oh, I told Krane that he should probably back up.
Oh, yeah. Crane,
Okay.
I would probably get out of the way.
Well, I'm Robin, but I will still back up.
Crane, we all know who you are.
Thank you, Krabin.
I'm Robin.
Quick question here.
Yeah.
Does anyone have well, here, Vazur, give me an intelligence check because I don't before I even
Okay.
suggest this.
Oh boy, 23.
Nice. Okay, easy enough. You don't have to use the guidance on that. You're really hoping this goes well, and if it doesn't, you can't mitigate the damage. But if somebody has like a silence spell, that would be clutch right now.
Oh.
As a reaction to this happening, if it goes wrong, you're like, man, if we could like silence this, that'd be incredible.
Can I reverse the polarity on Zone of Truth and make it a Zone of Lies, and then it'll be the opposite of whatever noise it makes, and it'll
No.
be quiet?
Nope.
Absolute fuck, did you say?
So, just in case, does anyone have a silent spell?
I could
Nope.
try to deflect a missile.
That wouldn't make it quieter.
Oh god, deflect missile.
I could try to catch the cannon.
You know what I hate about monks, and it's a 7-hour long video.
The same length of my barbarians video.
Yeah.
I could command the cannon to be quiet.
Well,
Nope, not a living creature.
I have a plan. If something goes wrong, I do have a plan. But I will try to
Look
unlock
at
this
that.
door.
I'm gonna
Okay.
try and shoot the rope, right?
I have to be able to open the door open the rest of the way.
Yeah, so he can get enough of a sight for
I
it.
mean,
line of sight.
how big do you think my arrows are?
It's more the shaft that follows the arrow that can like hit on the lock or something.
Oh.
I could wedge the arrow in through the door and then shoot it.
Guidance.
Yep, you still got the guidance. It's 14.
Okay. 14 does not set it off.
Does 14 unlock it?
No.
Flash of Genius?
Give me an would this be insight? Jesus.
Insight check
I don't
the
know.
door.
Inside the door.
I mean, you're deducing or you're deducing the strength of a lock on a door while
I always-
interacting. I don't know.
I always thought of insight not so much as your ability
Yeah.
to read people, just so much your ability to infer and understand things.
Right. I'll apply
So-
that to this. Screw it. Give me an
Yeah.
insight, Vazur.
Okay.
Okay, 12. You know what? Yeah, it was close enough to your last roll that yeah, you think if you use Flash of Genius here, it would get you to the point where you could crack it open.
All right.
So that'll be a total of 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will go ahead and move the wall of this locked door for a moment and crack it open so you guys can see a little bit of sight.
It's right there. I see the barrel.
I don't see it.
Uh,
It's the same.
oh,
Far
so
back.
yeah.
Honey, move me.
How far is the rope from
Move me.
the door?
The rope is
Bottom left corner.
right
Oh,
here.
it's
This line.
all back there. Yeah. Okay. So it'd have to be an arrow to do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
That's
a.
what I was saying.
Okay.
Well, I thought if the rope was like right up against the door, something we could reach in with like a sword or something and just kind of. But
And there is, if you see, there is a chain that is part of this door, and it seems like it routes through back to, like, back underground somewhere, and then up through the bottom of here, where it then turns to rope that burns or something or initiates. Who knows?
You are up, Krane.
Very Krane. Very careful.
Quick question before I guess I go through with this, or before Krane does, or sorry, before Robin Zegblu goes through with this.
Thank you.
Oh,
Just-
now I get it.
What?
Did you really just? Did it take you that long?
What's
Yeah.
that? What do you get?
Robin's egg, blue.
Yeah, I thought the surname was like, oh, that sounds new.
Like a Robin's eggs are blue.
I
Because
thought
oh
I thought
my
like
Robin.
I thought Robin Zegblu was like somebody's name.
Yeah, I thought Zegblu was like a Germanic.
Yeah, it's like
Like-
eggs.
No.
Yeah. Eggs are like this color blue.
They are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric, what the hell?
Have you never
What?
seen a Robin's egg, my guy?
I'm sorry, I've never decided to be around a robin when they decide to give birth to a damn egg.
They're all over the place.
Give birth to an egg? What?
Ding.
You see it?
Yeah, robin and blue. Okay, I see it now.
Riven Caldros be like, conception starts at laying.
God, the only birds that exist at night reach are fucking crows, my guy. Come on.
What about ravens?
But also, because like, you know, Robin is a
Between crows and
bird,
ravens.
and a crane is a bird. Do you
Yeah.
do you get
That's
it
bigger
now?
than I thought.
Yeah.
Side note about like cranes and herons though. So at my apartment, I see a lot of cool birds
Mhm.
and like herons. So the other day, I was sitting on my bed and I looked out the window and I saw like this really long necked bird and I'm like, oh cool, the heron's back. And then another heron came out of the sky and like dive bombed him and chased him off and he ran. And a third one dive bombed the other two, then took off flying. And then they all left. And it
Wow.
happened in like a span of like 10 seconds and it was great.
It's bird warfare.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Oh.
I just had a mini heart attack because the dog came up behind me and ate a chip that fell on the ground, and all I heard was from behind me. It scared the fuck out of me. Holy shit! I'm awake now.
Before I would fairy fire work on a rope?
Oh god. I will say for fairy fire that it eventually targets like creatures in the area,
Okay.
not objects.
What if the rope's a mimic?
Oh, the rope could be a mimic.
I wish
Alright.
I was that fucking smart.
That's the real trap.
So instead, the cannon's actually a mimic. It just bites you.
Which would you rather have, a cannonball
I
or
will say-
a bite?
I have wanted to start a campaign like you meet in a tavern, but the tavern tries to eat you because it's a mimic.
Oh,
More like
Monster House, it just cracks open a smile, it takes a bite.
they have you for dinner at the tavern.
We'll have you for dinner. Alright, cool.
Alright, so instead of doing fairy fire, I'm gonna make it harder and use darkness.
thanks, bud.
I live for the team and the grind.
I would like to shoot a ribbon.
That sounds like something Krane would do, actually.
Well, within 5 feet, it'll be at disadvantage, but you know, hold on.
I'm also crippled.
Go.
Here you go, Krane.
One more. Yeah, there you go. Open up a spot. Open this pit up.
But anyway, I'll probably get out of the way to let Robin do a shot.
Yep.
Thank you. All
So,
right,
Robin, you're just using your regular long bow.
To do
yeah.
the dragon
Okay.
to discount.
So Krane uses the basilisk bow, but
Oh, sure.
right now, Robin is just using the good old-fashioned long bow.
That's true.
Dragon. Do the dragon.
Guidance doesn't apply to attacks, right? Reading
I
it
think
right
it. I don't know.
One
think-
ability check of its choice.
Yeah, no. That would be like bless. So,
Yeah.
regardless, Crane, you can go ahead and roll with advantage because it's not moving.
That's alt, right?
A for roll, A
Okay.
for advantage.
I don't have a anything to target.
If you do it from your inventory and you just hold Alt and then left-click the D20 icon on top of the longbow,
Okay. We'll
yeah,
see.
should just work.
We'll see if it. Oh, it did go.
Oh, well, that was only one roll.
Well, it should have been 2.
I agree.
Roll.
I agree.
time.
Roll a second time, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do it again. It would be.
I'm not gonna say you should roll a higher number.
But
Ooh.
it
That
was
was-
higher.
By 1.
Okay, roll damage because I need to see how this works.
We're
I
fucked.
think
Okay.
it does that automatically.
Oh, okay, no worries. Thank Christ, because it had a 12 AC and it had 5 points of hit points.
Oh my god.
See, we
It is a rope.
I thought it'd be a little bit like craftier and like you know how in like innovation, like the smaller things are, the better because you fit more into such a little space, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I kind of
Yeah.
had that same concept from like, okay, regular rope AC is 10. I'll up it a bit and then I'll like double the hit points of a regular rope. So, yikes. Okay, the rope is now cut and you are free, and I will just unlock the door for this. You're free to open up the door if you'd like.
Crane, why don't you let me go ahead just in case?
Yeah, I got this.
Oh, alright, well, I'll
Isn't-
step out of the way then.
Is there anything
Okay.
happening upstairs where Embra's just kind of like milling about?
Nope, you hear snores from everybody here. In fact, I will. I'll give them all the asleep condition.
I'm gonna poke my head through the door.
Okay.
Boom.
Great.
In cannon.
Explodes.
Cannonball to the face.
Joke's on us. Second cannon.
You
It's not a
see-
real
said
cannon.
You
It's just a
peek your-
halfling throwing cannonballs.
You peek your head in the
What?
door.
Is
You
it-
see the chain going around.
Cannonballs.
Um,
Mhm.
You see there's an
Keep it
entrance
chill.
into the wall, and then you see at some point it must have to wrap around because the chain comes
Yeah.
up through the floor, and then it is then rigged up to the barrel, which now has a cut rope.
Can you move me, like,
In?
slightly into the room?
I'll move
I don't know
you-
why it will not let me move Crane unless I do, like, the ruler thing.
Yeah, I would just try click drag because I think the ruler, because it calculates distance, it might actually be more demanding on moving. I'm not sure how that would work.
You gotta be kidding me.
Maybe, wait, can Crane be really cool and just go, like, grab his arrow out of the wall?
Crane could
you know
be,
what?
but
Because
Robin.
Yeah, Crane can't because he's not here, but maybe Robin.
Okay, can Robin be really cool and go grab his arrow out of the wall?
So you can grab the splinters of your arrow off the wall because eventually it went through like fiber and then just hit a stone wall and cracked into
Dang it, okay.
pieces. Yeah.
Why would they have a cannon in here like that? That doesn't make sense.
I would like to investigate for secret door, please.
I'd like to either assist or also join in on that.
I would like to stand there and listen to the stairs.
That guidance is for Vazur while he looks for secret doors.
Okay.
Secret door, secret door, secret door.
Ooh. Okay.
Investigation.
Investigation. Yeah.
Plus a d4. 13.
18. There's no hidden doors. Being as this place is used for a couple different things, you're not sure if this is here to ward away temptation or to function as an alarm should they want to lure in, like, thieves or, like, people who are trying to subvert the sort of comings and goings here. I mean, it's possible that there's a door here that you're not seeing, but I mean, the only thing, and like you're going around trying to feel changes of like air pressure and all that, you're feeling a little bit by the door here, just because it's open, and then maybe a smidge by the chain. But then, I mean, it just seems like a solidly built room.
Well,
They have to break the floor.
no, Crane, you have a wand for that.
Oh, yeah.
Crane. No, for finding for finding secret doors.
2
Okay.
chains.
Let's use the door wand. It'll let me use the door wand.
We'll see.
Door wand, activate.
Right?
The cannon explodes if a door wand is ever used near it.
Brilliant.
Vazur would like to pocket one of these cannonballs into the bag of holding.
Oh yeah, sure.
Why?
I'd say
Because you never know when you'll need a cannonball.
that's true.
Take two.
Nice.
Take two.
Yep, it worked. Wand of Secrets worked. I would say Vazur, if you're gonna mark it down, I'd say each one you take will be about 20 pounds, maybe.
And how much does it fit again?
Oh God.
I want to say it's
I think it's like
500.
500, something
yeah,
like
as
that.
long as it's like not. Yep, 500 pounds.
Okay, and
64
how much did you
cubic.
say each one was?
20 pounds.
20.
apiece.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Wand of Secrets. That is 30 feet of you. So, Krane. feet. Okay. I will say there is no secret door within 30 feet of you. Or trap. Well, because this one is disarmed now.
Great.
Whoa.
So we found a trap for people who go snooping around and then didn't set it off. That's good. At least we found
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it is good.
I don't think I can edit the contents of the bag of holding except for money.
Oh, let's see. Oh, I know.
Although, one thing we're going to have to keep in mind is that the next time they come down to check the trap, the rope will be split.
They shouldn't have to check the trap. It never went off.
Yeah. But also, like, ropes break. That's a thing that happens.
Just make sure we clean up all the arrow splinters.
Yeah.
That is true. All right.
Hope you guys didn't
Thanks,
take
Jim.
anything.
Here, I'll actually get the weight in there. How many are you taking?
DNA.
Oh, just the... I guess 2.
Fine, I'll give you 2. Alright. 2 cannonballs. Alrighty. So, what are we doing?
I
Well-
guess heading back up.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Temi, did you ask something and I didn't respond to you?
No, I was just asking
Okay.
before if there was like anything happening up there in case
Gotcha,
people come
sorry.
in. I'm just like, oh hey, look, people, and then everybody else gets captured.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm like,
so a couple of these people have been kind of tossing and turning, but once the fire had gone out over here, a lot of this is just like small torchlight that, you can easily obscure yourself in the shadows, even if somebody was looking from over there. Everything seems to be quieted down. Even a lot of the work from the previous areas, like the winches and stuff, all of them but one has seemed to die down. It's actually acting almost as like a low drone, as there is one winch still working away.
Drew, I do have a question though.
Yeah.
What happens if I get wet?
I would say it dulls the color a little bit, like shortens your hair length maybe, and replaces that
Same.
long part of your hair with like steam.
Am I a Charizard? Do I just die?
Remember, you took a bath in the dungeon we were in.
That is true.
That is true.
I guess. Nah, I won't be that person. Never mind.
Well,
Proceed.
keep it in mind.
Drew?
Yeah.
Are there any obvious signs on the door of it being picked? Like scratches or anything that would be out of the
you
ordinary?
guys?
Yeah.
I'd say no. Like, because a lot of it is stone or metal, it's easy to like buff out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, if you want to drag Krane out of there, I'd like to close the door and then relock it. If
Are
I can.
you keeping Riven in there then?
Is Riven in there still?
I think he's just around the corner. There you
Yeah,
go.
grab it.
Oh, yeah, he is. Wow, I didn't think it would
There.
conceal him right there.
Right?
Haha, that was the trick.
Stealth 100.
And
move you back up.
How difficult would it be to relock it?
Not difficult because you're just setting like a latch effectively from the other side.
Gotcha. Okay, and then I'll head back up.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
there's a wall here.
I'm gonna connect Vazur or Krane to you, Vazur.
And I'll relock this one as well.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, so that one was a bust. There is another way down on the other side of this room, but I think that leads to Sabin's office.
Well,
We do have Operation Great.
Well, we'd have to pass through the doorbell sentinels for that.
That is true.
take him out.
We can't get to them without going in front of them first.
Well, they're statues, not like actual sentinels.
But you can still take them out.
Yeah.
Uninstall them, so to speak.
On an insecurity system.
Yep.
There you go.
Here, let me try my hand at this one over here. If Vazur's not busy, or if Vazur is busy.
Oh, I'm Krane. I'm in Robin, and I will be right over.
Well, here, I'll just wait for you to get over here then.
Here,
That's
let
just
me get Robin through the door, and then he'll unlock it. Yeah. That is so funny.
So I must have, when my character was shift moved over, and then you moved Krane over to me, it kind of got a little fucky.
Oh yeah, I know. It's all good.
Okay, just making sure. And
I'll unlock it for now.
And guidance. On Vazur, of course.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you think Tosh ever gets tired of guiding us?
Oh, yes.
Oh, buddy. Not today. You know what? Give me... Are you going to use the guidance here? Yeah, 30. Yeah.
30!
Yeah!
Well, DC was 32, so...
Oh.
No,
Oh,
easy
Flash of
enough.
Genius, don't worry.
In fact, you're pretty confident that the door might not have latched because you're like, that was weird. Like, it didn't hit that final sort of cylinder or something. Easy
I
enough.
don't know, did you even try the door?
Well, no, I thought I heard them lock it when they came up, so...
Well, it's okay. They probably fucked up.
Okay, who's the quietest out of us?
Would it be me?
Or no, Riven.
Riven? Okay. I think there was one guard down there. There were two guards down there when I went down there first. But we only saw one come up, right?
You saw two grunts. You saw one
Iron Man commander guy?
the commander, but you did not see that weird like Iron Maiden looking dude or whatever I called him. You saw the commander with like big beard, like here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This
I
guy,
remember.
not the weird thing with the Iron Man suit.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, there may still be one guard down there, Riven. So I just want you to take a look and see.
Alright,
Would invisibility be useful in this situation?
Can you
I
cast
think
it on
it
all
will.
5 of us?
No.
Then
With one
just
of us?
Put it on Riven then.
Riven, come hither and receive my blessing.
that was probably the most sinister thing I've ever heard you say.
That's probably the most
Apologies.
sensual thing I've ever heard him say.
And Vazur will take out a little piece of eyelash encased in gum Arabic.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what the hell I would do with that because I'm not really sure what gum
Yeah.
Arabic is.
What do you think you would do?
Well,
So-
knowing Vazur would try to put it in his mouth.
Okay. So yeah, gum Arabic is like it's like a natural growing gum as far as I understand it that's found in like Africa and the Middle East.
Ooh, okay. And so Vazur will chew it and then blow a bubble, and then when the bubble blows up, the eyelash flashes into a large opening eye wound.
Okay.
Or eye.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's actually, you know what? mouth is good because gum arabic dissolves in water. So
Hey,
there you go. Okay, easy enough. All right. So
let me cast.
Riven, I will. Yeah, go ahead and cast it. Just use your spell slot.
Disconnect.
Can I do this?
That put me in
You
the
are invisible. So now, Reinhold, Vazur, and Krane can't see you, but I think obviously Temi can. 'Cause she's with you. Right? Is that right? You guys can't see Riven anymore?
I cannot.
There you go.
Ah, good, because I'm doing a Fortnite dance on top of you, Reinhold. This is a victory royale.
So for the next
Shut
hour,
up.
you are invisible. If you go down the stairs to that point, you will again trigger like a teleport effect that will take you to another part of the map.
Let's go. One more.
It's a lot of versatility on this Andrew made map, huh? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hashtag ad.
Can I try to peek through this
Yeah,
door?
I'll do one further. You sort of kind of brace yourself against the door so you can hold your eye up to the keyhole, and also you're able to understand that the door is unlocked. Like the handle has some give to it. Go ahead and give me a perception check to see through the keyhole.
Skeption.
Perception.
Breakfast.
Perception. Okay, 7. There is
I think clear.
there is nothing moving on the other side of the keyhole.
All right, I'll give her a little turn and a push.
Okay. There is nothing moving. However, there is a creature there.
Oh, what is that?
Okay.
Seems to be asleep.
All right, cool. I will kind of slowly close the door behind me.
Yeah, I should have readied the snoring meme like that. Oh.
Ah.
What?
I'll show it to you guys after.
Hold on, yeah, I'll find it while
Just
you're doing
cue it
that.
up, and then we'll send it later.
Yep.
Is this like none pizza left beef?
None pizza left beef. It's it's not as culturally magical as none pizza left beef was.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
After like I said, sort of lightly closing the door,
Yep.
I'll just kind of do the little cartoon tiptoe to the next one.
Yep. All right, you looking through?
Yeah.
Okay, this door is locked. I will say.
Shit.
Yeah.
Does the sleeping guard have keys?
Ooh. Yeah, you know what I'll say? He uses part of his attire as a key to unlock it. He's got like a
What?
mechanism on his breastplate that can like R2-D2 extend and like unlock. Give me an investigation check, Riven.
Yeah, let me do that first.
'Cause
I'm like, Eric needs to investigate.
I'm gonna drop
I
some
got a
knowledge on
+0.
you.
Yeah, well, let's see if I roll high. 8.
Ooh, nice. Man, if you could take that piece off and use it, that'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, let me try to do that.
Okay.
Can I sleight of hand?
Man, yeah, sleight of hand. This is
You can just hit this.
interesting.
Go to the skills thing, by the way. Oh,
This is gonna be fun.
well, higher than a 5. There we go.
Holy
Are you
shit.
doing like GM rolls or something?
Oh, I am sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
No, you don't
in
need
order.
to have them public. I just was like, I'm not seeing any of his rolls.
reveal,
Sorry.
reveal. There you go.
Originally, yeah, my perception and investigation were bad, but my sleight of hand was good.
Sorry.
All good, all good. I think we still had it from last session. Okay. Yeah, a 24 will be enough to unlock it. After you unlock it, if you want to peek open the door to take a look at what's inside, you can. Otherwise,
do it.
I can describe it, but yeah, about to be magical. All right.
Go ahead and open Dizzity door. Oh boy, this is a whole bunch of stuff. Guys, I wish you could see all this. It's a map.
My favorite part is when I give our companions here some pretty clear idea of what they need to do, like go down there, see if there's a guard, and then they proceed to continue forth without any of us.
Yeah, so I will say, Riven,
No.
you've gone through 2 doors, and you're exceedingly getting anxious that you're away from your compatriots. And you're thinking about, okay, so that means I have to make the trip back up if I want to grab them, and then the trip back down, and then we have to make sure they get past this guy, and then I have to close the door behind all of us. So you're just thinking, and you're like, I might have to reattach that thing too in case it wakes up and has to unlock the door.
I will counter.
Go on.
I am a decently wise man.
Yes.
Oh, that means you're a fool.
I am not terribly smart.
Okay.
With that in mind, sort of keeping an eye in, does that light seem similar to, like, the hallway?
Yes.
I gotcha. So...
However, there is a vast area that has no light.
Okay. Alright, and then, so with that, I will sort of ease the door back closed. I'm gonna keep it unlocked.
Okay.
But I will reattach the thing on the guy.
Okay. Easy enough now that you know how the mechanism works and you're not, like, hoping you're pulling the wrong, like, bolt out or something.
Alright, and then I will head up back to my companions, since I was ordered to do very specific things.
Hey, I only gave you an idea. I did not.
Yeah.
I'll expedite here.
It's fine. So I will just sort of come up, and I'm just gonna not say anything, but I'm gonna lightly tap Robin on the shoulder.
Alright. Robin / Krane, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Boo.
Who's that? Who's that?
It's me, the spirit of your sins.
Me
You
is here.
talking things like Krane?
It's me, Cal.
Yeah. You sound different.
I'm
It's like
gonna
gaslighting Krane.
They're in the walls, they're in the walls, they're in the walls, they're in the walls.
Nightmare.
Absolutely schizomaxing. Anyway, I will say, it's not actually Cal, it is me, Riven.
Oh.
Wait,
Can you go get Cal?
you are a Cal.
God.
I want to talk to Cal. Can you go get him again?
He told me he had to use the restroom.
Oh, okay, I can wait.
Okay. Everyone else, there is a single guard down there, but they're asleep. All the doors are unlocked. I was able to unlock the doors. There's what seems to be a type of throne room with some lights in it, similar to the hallway, but room to get around them. It seems like an ominous room. It could possibly have the secret passageway we're looking for in it.
Oh. Sounds like a better option than the cannon room.
That's true. So, shall we?
Do you need me to
Indeed.
shoot something again?
Not yet.
Okay.
Robin, Cal told me to tell you to follow us.
Oh, okay.
So that's it, huh? We just have to gaslight Krane into doing anything now?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
let's head back.
What happened? Oh, my whole screen's black. Where am I?
Don't worry.
The abyss.
Here.
The unfathomable power of the void.
Wait, take me
It's
with
actually-
you.
I will
What's
take
actually back?
Your skin's really uncomfortable. You should take it off.
Oh, did I just... Okay. Thank God.
Alrighty, and then
Hey Drew,
Yes,
can you grab my token? please?
absolutely. I would love nothing more.
Can you just move all of our tokens around the board, please?
but yes, the guard is in. Okay, that door. Yeah.
So, this is the guy that Reinhold, I believe, you saw earlier. He's
Iron Man.
Yep, Iron Man. He's currently asleep, and Riven would have closed this door, but he will tell you obviously it's unlocked.
Okay.
Everyone who is passing that creature into the next room, I need a stealth check. Riven, you can make yours with advantage.
Okay.
I will say anybody unarmored can make it with advantage. So that's Embra and Vazur.
I'm also
And-
armored.
Oh
Yeah.
off your armor. Okay, so all of you with advantage. That
I
works.
don't need
Alright.
advantage.
Hold Alt when you press it. So everyone-
Oh wait, it didn't roll with advantage even though I did it.
Oh, that's weird.
Press stealth.
Try that again. That's
There you
better.
Oh, that's
13.
fine.
Wow.
I don't know why it rolled with this. Oh, I'm an idiot.
What's up?
It's
'cause-
still seeing me as wearing armor, so
Gotcha, because it's still equipped.
You're-
But if I hit unequip on the item,
yeah.
okay, that's fine.
But I'll take the 13, even though it was technically
Yeah,
a disadvantage
no
roll,
worries.
because yeah, it's all wonky, but it worked out in the end.
Nice. All right, so you guys, let's see, 23, 20, 14, 13, 15,
Where's your other one?
plus 13,
We're good.
plus 15. Yeah, that's easy enough. You guys average 17. Alrighty. Krane, I will move you back here. And then you guys place yourselves wherever you want to. And we may continue. Probably
We're
only
just
go
together.
for another 15 minutes or so. I know we started late and we were BSing, so hope you guys don't mind me running a little bit long.
Never.
Oh, I didn't even notice it was past one already.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only been playing for about 3.5, or well, yeah, about 3.5, but
Hype.
Makes sense.
all right. Would you like them to open the door, or would you like to do the honors, Riven?
Go ahead and cook the door.
Clicking the door. Dun-dun-dun.
Holy shit, the door opened by itself.
No, it's just me.
Oh,
The-
I forgot to do it there.
That light projecting off of those, that's same kind of light.
Yes, however,
As-
it does not go nearly as far, so the entirety of the middle of the throne room seems to be safe.
Okay, and then oh yeah, there's that stone throne. Hmm.
The runes. Can I see those from where I'm standing or no?
You can see them from where you're standing, yeah.
Are they dwarven?
They are dwarven in nature, yes.
Can I read them or are they just runes?
No, you can't read them. They say, give me a moment here, pick it up.
Don't put me in that light. It'll detect us and make a little ping sound. But I hope it's like an M1 Garand ping noise.
So this roughly translates to under the protected we serve.
I don't know if I like that.
Who's the protected? And who do they serve? They serve me. No.
Can you
Just torture.
drag Krane out of the room there?
Yes, absolutely. You want me to close the door behind
Not
you?
until the light
To
drew.
the light.
I got the door.
No, I know he's not going to go in the light. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it's
Scroll down. So,
Oh, I will
who's gonna
say
claim
every
the
so
blonde?
often. Sorry to cut you off there. You will see like sneaking into the beams of light coming down from the statues, like the torches. Like every so often will like flick a little bit of like sparks or like excess flame like into the light, but it doesn't set it off. So it clearly knows that whatever passes through it is a creature or not. That's something I meant to say earlier in that initial hallway.
Can I make just a general perception?
Sure. Are you looking for anything or just observing the area?
Traps, triggers, anything like that?
For that, I would go investigation because that's a direct
Sure.
search.
Sure. 19.
Okay. You think that a perfect place to set a trap would be under the chandelier where you're standing right now, just because it looks quite menacing.
That's what I thought.
Being suspended that high. No, you know that these are sort of motion sensors, so to speak. However, you're not sure how they relate to the rest of the outpost here, or what they would trigger, or if it's just... I mean, you heard the chimes, but you don't know if the chime tells, like, a wizard to mobilize people or whatever. Like, you're not sure what the trigger is.
Right.
Beyond that, you see actually hidden behind the torches are, like, crudely made, like, makeshift blades. That are like... Yeah, that are, like, edged to a point on the torch sconce, because these are all, like, iron torch sconces. And you see that a couple of them have been sharpened to function as blades.
Do they seem like removable?
Yeah, you go up to one and you sort of fiddle with it a bit, and you see one of the bolts or something isn't properly housed, and it's not really being... It's just sort of hanging in place at an angle instead of being, like, fastened into something.
Do they seem decorative or more...
No, they seem like shiv-like almost.
Oh, functional then.
Yeah. It would function, I'd say, like, as a short sword.
Then we got the strange throne.
Hypothetically, if
Yes.
Robin gave the Wand of Secrets to Reinhold, could Reinhold do a little 30-foot ping?
Yeah, because the Wand of Secrets is not attunement based, so yeah, it still has 2 charges, and you can use one wherever you prefer.
Well,
Reinhold's more in the center of the room.
Sure.
Let me see. How do I do the, like, measurement? Oh, probably the ruler.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You also notice a double door behind the throne that is closed at the moment, made of iron, and it is you see some decorative tile under it.
All right, yeah, I'll pop off a wand of secret doors.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, here, let me move one more spot. I'm gonna move towards the throne, like directly in front of Vazur. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna step on those runes. I'm not stupid.
I mean, Vazur, you can give me an Arcana while you're there, and see if they're magical. I mean,
well, they're dwarvish, right?
They are dwarvish. Yeah.
I speak that.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know?
That was close to a 20.
Not sure if they're magical. But it says, the protected we serve.
I know what it says, Vazur.
What? You read Dwarvish too?
Yeah, we've spoken Dwarvish before.
I know. I don't really get to talk about it. It's like a weird quirk of mine that never comes up.
Well, we can talk in Dwarvish more if you want.
Maybe.
So what language is that?
What language is that?
Should we,
I'm checking for traps right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Krane.
So 30 feet from where you
I
are
also-
standing.
I also know Dwarvish.
There you go.
I believe we go through this at least like twice a month.
We do. Ha! Embra doesn't know Dwarvish. We can all speak in Dwarvish now and exclude her.
Beer, haha, gems, mining, greed, haha.
Crockenstone.
Here on the door itself,
Uh-huh.
you have 2 traps.
Ooh.
Well, they're one of each trap, but like pointed in different directions.
Yeah.
There's like one here at the center left of the door, and one at the center right. And if, well, you mean this? I'd say this is part of your investigation, so you don't have to reroll.
Okay.
As part of opening the door, if you don't turn like the cranks the right way and you do it like out of order, so to speak, you would have a projectile fire towards the statue that would block its vision entirely on both of these statues, and that would be like, you would think like a mega trigger, because it's like, oh my god, something's triggering the entirety of the light, right?
Right. It's not just like something passed through the light. It's like now the
it's
light's
like something
gone.
is impeding it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. We've got 2 traps on the doors up ahead. Looks like if we trigger them, they'll set off some kind of big bad alarm.
Is anybody particularly good at disabling traps, or is that also going to be me?
Well, I think that depends on what the trap mechanism looks like. You said if they're out of sequence, like, does it have to be opened in a certain order?
Yeah, so it's more like how would I describe it? There's like two handles on the door that sort of untension it so it can be pushed open, or pulled open rather in this case. And it seems that it has to be done in a certain order and not tripped in a certain way that would
Is there any
traps.
Is there any indication to what that order might be?
For that, I would require, I would say, an investigation.
Okay.
Or if you have anything in your backstory, like I know dwarves have like stone cunning, right?
Yeah.
You know, anything, you know, carpentry, you know, whatever.
I got thieves' tools, playing cards, and thieves' cant.
Ooh, you know what? I would say, Vazur, your background was like guild artisan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be a fun one. I'd say this will be your insight, but if you were proficient in, like, this is your insight against, like, the set of tools that you would need to unlock it. So this would be a d20 plus 7 for you.
For me?
Yeah, because you're proficient in insight, and then I'll say this would be like a tool proficiency along with that.
Okay, okay.
Ooh.
Okay, that works for me. So, yeah, it takes a bit of time, but you know that you'd have to do unlatch left, unlatch right, but then open right, open left.
Okay.
So, left, right, right, left.
Now, is this under the implication that two people would be doing it, or one person?
One person can do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, before we do that, I'd like to listen up to the other side of the door, or peek if there's an option to do that.
These are just too thickly, or like, obscured, I'd say, with the complexity of it.
Okay. And no way to hear through it either, or just nothing coming through?
You can put your ear to it, but you only hear the crackle of what might be a fireplace or a brazier.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this in sequence then. So that's my handle first.
Yes.
Then your handle.
Yes.
And you
now
open
I
yours.
my side.
Yep. And then I
Correct.
open mine.
So we will need to unlock it first to do this.
Oh.
Because it's like it's a central lock that would that would allow you to unlatch on either side.
I see. Okay.
Sorry.
It's not like a French door.
Yeah, I forgot the lock part of the door.
All right. Well, Vazur, here you go.
Okay, and let's
Nice.
pray a little.
Yep. Hey.
I don't have an inspiration.
So you so you still get a D4. I will say you didn't set off the trap, you just didn't unlock it to where if you do it in a wrong order you would set off the trap. You already know the order. So you haven't set anything off, you just haven't unlocked the door yet.
Remind me how inspiration works again. Is it after the roll?
I think you have to decide before, or no, hold on. Before or after?
Before or after?
Yep.
Vazur, do you want me to take a crack at it, or do you want to give it another shot?
You know, Reinhold, you feel free. I think maybe my sonic screwdriver is in the fritz.
Don't know what that means, but okay. Okay. I'm gonna use my thieves' tools here. Oh, buddy. I guess I'm using that point of inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know where the phone is.
All right.
I will say,
Inspiration.
I'll
There
say
it
this
is.
was important enough for you to use it, but remember, inspiration has to be before. Luck is the one that you can use after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
just
good.
asked you said before or after.
No, that was for guidance, not inspiration.
No, I asked you for inspiration.
I thought
He
you
did
said
say
guidance.
inspiration, but yeah.
I'm sorry, bud.
That's okay. Oh, well. Doesn't matter now. 13.
Jeez.
Oh, 17?
17? That is enough to unlock it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Wait, Reinhold.
Alright.
Now
Yes.
turn it this way.
Now the order.
Yes. Okay. Left handle.
Yep.
Right handle.
Yep.
Right door.
Yep.
Left door.
And it'll open up to your... Okay.
That dude looks scary as fuck.
Okay. Krane, Nosh and I, or rather the Riven,
The Riven.
and Embra. You guys see Reinhold and Vazur go at this door for a few minutes until they unlock it and clear the way. I will say, because there's a single humanoid to focus on that is in a bed in that bedroom that they've just unlocked, I want Embra to give me an Arcana check, and also Vazur, if you're proficient. No, you're not proficient. Let's see. Anybody else proficient in Arcana?
No.
You'd think I would be, but I don't
You
know.
would think.
I don't know how I'm not.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's funny. The invisibility must be working pretty well because I can't even find Riven. And I
It does
run that
last
shit.
an hour.
It does. Embra, you're pretty confident that the man laying in that bed is Sabin, but it is like a image of Sabin, like a illusion. You see like a shimmer from afar, like heat coming off blacktop.
All right.
1 sec, I dropped the phone, so we're far away from it.
Okay. You do sound like you're in a well.
Could I make a perception for any traps again? Or
Wanna get
investigation,
down?
rather?
Sure.
Okay. Which one do you want me to do?
I'd say investigation.
Oh, almost did intimidation.
Are you gonna trap me?
24.
24 is enough to tell you that there are no traps in here. I will say, where are you searching? Because you might get a little more information somewhere.
Well, first thing I was gonna check was, well, how far in the room? I guess is this like a cumulative, like the whole room kind of deal, or like,
Yeah,
or do
so
we
this is
specify like
like
a couple areas?
So this is just like a doorway, right? But the room is
Yeah.
like 35 feet long, 50 feet wide.
Okay, I would definitely check the threshold of the door first.
Okay,
that would
nothing
be
there.
my first, and then my next big one. Oops, sorry, Vazur. My next big one would be around like the desk, right over here.
Okay.
Right over here.
Okay. And then Embra, and then Riven and Krane. What are y'all gonna be doing? Are you guys following into the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Also,
He
Krane,
dropped it under the bed, so
Krane, I'm gonna try.
Trying to-
Don't worry, we're sending EMS to get you out.
Sabin, dog, you gotta stop looking so scary.
Here.
Explodes you with his
There's
mind.
Riven. Oh,
alright, calm down.
Oh, and before we went in this room, I would have told Vazur at least if he's coming in here, or anybody that's coming in here, that we gotta keep quiet so we don't wake up Sabin, or whoever this is.
sure.
Vazur's trying to tiptoe, and his little
Yeah.
scaly talons keep scraping against the stone.
Oh, if it's not too much to add to my investigation there, I'd also like to make sure these statues don't have alert thingies
Oh.
on them.
No, they do not seem to be. They seem to be like ornamental or decorative.
Okay.
May I glance at this book?
Yeah. Give me a perception check actually when you're there.
Okie dokie.
Once I'm done looking for traps on this desk here, I'm gonna check this book as well.
That was a misinput. Was a misinput.
No,
Calm
no
down.
worries.
You calm down.
Oh.
It was worse.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Now I can move Krane. I'm gonna put you guys at least a little bit closer just so you can see what's going on. And then if you want to go into the room, feel free. Abigail, if you want me to move you anywhere, just let me know.
Yay, we did it.
I did it. What is that?
What?
Oh god.
You got the phone.
I got the phone.
You got the phone.
What'd you say, Abigail? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Hello?
Yo.
She's
What?
Is she still here?
She's still in Discord, yeah.
Oh, okay, I will keep her right there regardless.
Maybe she pulled a Zach and Darren.
And E, to be fair.
Oh yeah, you did do it once. That's right.
Yeah.
Close the door.
I think he's in.
Cat's out there.
Okay, Embra and Riven, are you coming into the room then?
Yep.
Where is the...
Right,
Directly in front of you.
Right there.
Can't see. Hold on. Oh, we've been moved. I see.
Don't
Yeah.
close the door. Don't close the door. Door does not close.
No, that was just me, so you're not rendering the light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know it's open. It's just, I don't want you guys to have to continue rendering that lighting animation from back there.
I didn't know if there was going to be some kind of, like, sequence to close the door, too.
Oh, you still don't know.
I don't, you're right,
Yeah.
but...
Okay.
All right.
As you guys get in here, yeah, Embra, while you're getting closer, and especially where you are right now, you know for sure that this Sabin here is just a magical, like, copy of some kind. So, what would I call this?
Projection.
Yeah, I would say... I'm trying to think of a status condition that I can put on it.
Does everybody else know, or should I tell them?
Disengaged. I'd say they know after... Yeah, I'm sure you would have relayed the information.
Okay. It's a fake.
It's a fugazi. Alright, so Reinhold, you wanted to investigate by the desk, which you got the 24 for?
Yep.
Okay. You do see, while you were under the desk, you know how banks have that, like, alarm button?
Yep.
Okay. This looks kind of like that, but you're fairly certain it's a trigger to, like, unlock something. Not an alarm, like an unlock trigger.
How fairly certain are we talking here?
From the other triggers that you have seen, they have not looked like what you're looking at right now. It's like a little nubbin that is like a button that you're fairly confident would unlock something.
Fuck it. I'll hit it.
Alright, so after the alarm sounds, now...
Oh, no.
Vazur, you hear a click near you.
Huh?
And you look down, and you notice that there are these little... If you can see by the fireplace, there's a little black rail. And you see the table and its contents start to move up.
Oh. Reinhold, you did it. Reinhold, you did a thing.
Before I go over there, I want to read that journal that's on his desk. Or just anything that's on his desk, I guess.
Oh, sure. A lot of it seems to be encrypted.
Oh, good. Useless to me, then. Is that a cup of coffee on his desk?
It's probably a cup of, like, ale or something.
I'll drink some of it. No, I'm kidding. Not a savage. Anything to discern with these maps? Anything of note?
Nothing sinister, I would say. It looks like a lot of this is, how would I describe it? This almost seems like a hobby.
Oh, okay.
Like, one looks like he's planning, like, a hike or a trip or something. Another
poor guy.
one, yeah, I don't know.
We're just about to fucking rob this dude blind, and he's just like, I'm gonna go on my hiking trip next month.
Dear diary,
Yeah.
Sporfin was so cute the other day.
I will tiptoe over
Uh-huh.
to the thing that I revealed with Vazur's help.
What
And
is down there? Or
what do we
is
see?
it?
You see sliding rails that would allow you to move this fireplace over.
Oh, fuck, that's gonna be loud.
Well, it's just a projection. That means he's not actually here.
Well, also, they're on rails. Like, you're not moving it stone against stone. Like, it's like a roller. Like those, oh, do you remember the band room at Fitz? Like, we had
Yes.
those
The
bookshelves.
library?
The bookshelves that move on the rails that you
Yeah.
just crank. Yeah.
Yep. Similar to that.
I'll
That again.
assist you, Reinhold.
Okay. Alright. Nice and easy.
Yep, I would say, Reinhold, you're going to give me a strength. Vazur, you're going to give me just a dex check. So just
Okay.
ability check, and then Reinhold's strength check. So, like, Reinhold's going to push, and then Vazur's going to, like, guide and also put weight, but be ready to stop it. Nice.
Can I do guidance?
Yep, you can do it on yourself, because Vazur already rolled.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
21.
21.
was doing something.
Okay. Easy enough to get it over there. And actually, Vazur, this is where I'll use scales out of sight. He's going to use his, like, reaction to, like...
Brace.
blunt the blow. So here, I'll actually...
Pocket scales.
Yeah. So there, he's been with you. All right, so that will reveal a hidden door for you. And that hidden door is actually right here. Jump. And it looks like there's a wood back to this fireplace that is just blackened with soot, but you see handprints to where it is, what's the word? Like soot sunken handprints where it's pushed on to open.
Well, I won't change anything about that, but are my hands too big for it?
No, but all of you will probably have to, like, crouch through. Like, it's not, you have to get under the mantle of the fireplace and all that.
Okay, before we go down into this,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to close the door behind us.
Bye-bye.
No.
Is there any indication from either side that we needed to do the closing in sequence?
You know what? Once that initial, like, middle mechanism is engaged, I'd say that's when the reset point is. Which, in the closing of the doors, however way you do it, will re-engage it.
Okay, so that being said, is opening it from the inside the same thing then? You have to do it in sequence?
No, because on this side there's only one.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll
It's like
close
a
it.
master.
We'll close it from this side.
Yep. Easy.
And then we have to figure out a way that we can somehow close this up behind us too, unless we don't want to do that. I don't know. But either way, close that door behind us, and I think we should start heading down.
All right.
You or me first.
I'll go first. Very carefully open the door. Oh. Before I go through, though, I check for traps.
Okay. You know what? Smart last use of the Wand of Secrets. However, there are no traps in this area.
Oh, man.
I guess
Okay.
you'd get, like, a disabled secret door one here. Like, this is a secret door.
Fair enough. Okay. Going through.
Hey.
Oh, God, there's blood!
So, Reinhold, go ahead and stop right there. After you sort of unlatch that sort of wooden part of the fireplace, you pop it open and you hear a brief, like, gust of wind as some of the ashes are... Sorry, the brief gust of wind was your fucking vein. But you hear there's a sort of slow gust of wind that sort of blows some of the ash further into the room. And as you open up and crawl through, you get this dank, musty smell from within. And as you turn the corner, you are right, with your orcish dark vision, you see a speckle of blood that seems to continue. I think it is quite a natural point to stop there for the evening.
Beautiful.
That way we can tackle it last time, and then just...
So,
there.